1. Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2. Get some good, some food in you. Step 3. Think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4. Everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2. Get some good, some food in you. Step 3. Think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4. Everybody just do your thing.
Need to hear this, but let me put this out here. Stop sparing folks. Hello, somebody. Stop sparing folks. Nobody cared when your feelings was hurt. Nobody cared when you was pacing the flow. Nobody cared when you was sliding down the wall. Nobody cared when you was standing over there with a face full of tears. You had to suck it up, buttercup. But then when it come to other folk feelings, here you are. Want to tiptoe around it. Want to avoid the elephant in the room. I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to disturb the peace. Stop sparing folk. Ain't nobody spare you when it was your turn. Give it to them real. Give it to them raw. Give it to them uncut and uncensored. This is exactly what it is. This way you had me messed up at. Huh. Yeah. I ain't playing with nobody this season, baby.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good morning, you crazy people here on YouTube that are up entirely too early listening to a show while you're at work. Shame on you. You should be written up. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Happy Wednesday, all. It's nice to see you guys here today. We got quite a few people already, just in 5 minutes, 227 people. Nice to see you guys this morning. Go ahead and hit that like button for me as you guys are coming in this morning. And as SoFlo Mama is saying, good morning and happy hump day, right? Happy hump day. So I was going to do, I don't like members only. My last live that we've been kind of dragging on is members only, members only, members only. So that means you have to be a member to have the discussion, to talk in the chat. You're not even going to view it without being a member. And that has been dragging on. I promised you guys I would do that like a week ago. And I've just been my schedule's been a little crazy because I'm incorporating county work back in it, into my schedule. And, I've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, researching some of these cases. I've been, doing stuff to help to make things a little more positive, right? So many of you guys know, before we get started, I haven't really addressed the elephant in the room just quite yet. First, I want to tell everybody, I love the people here on YouTube, okay? I love the creators that I collaborate with. The idea that just because we collaborate together and just because we're friends, which at the end of the day, we are friends. We've all met each other. We talk to each other on the phones. We text each other. We message each other. I have to be honest with you. I was in shock. Dolly kind of threw a curveball, okay? Dolly is not a bad guy. It broke my heart this morning listening to his live and talking about how he doesn't have mods. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, guys, we're not going to all be firing on all cylinders all the time, 100% of the time. That is a perfect world, and we do not live in it. The idea that you think that people that have relationships, friendships, platonic or otherwise, flower power type, you know what I'm saying? Like there's not one family. There's not one relationship, whatever type of relationship it is, employment relationship. You're not going to, there's going to be disagreements. Does it mean we hate each other? Of course not. We are all on YouTube. We have a way of getting our audience attention. We sometimes get loud. It's part of YouTube. This idea that we should just start beating Dolly over the head with a club or not, being there to support him. What is a friendship? What is it? It's being there in the good times and in the bad. You know what a fair weather friend is? We inspire true friendships, true relationships here on YouTube. We're not, the cockroaches, the hate channels or anything like that. But quite frankly, I was taken back. I was in shock. I have to be honest with you. I love Dolly. I've chatted with him. We have a disagreement. So what? But I want to let you guys know the idea that because of one disagreement, we'll never work. Like we're not them people on YouTube. We are more sophisticated. We're more adult-like people on YouTube. So let's all just put our big girl panties on and act like it, please. Okay? He's entitled to a stinking opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. Marissa's entitled to hers. We're all entitled to that. You know what we do as friends? We don't go and throw bombs on their channel, right? I mean, think about it. If we were going to be nasty, we could have all just went into Dolly's chat and just started World War III, right? We didn't. Because we are friends. We didn't do that. We went on our own channels. Well, I didn't even go on my channel. We went on Marissa's channel and we had a discussion. We vented our frustration, right? When is an outlet of venting should be an issue, right? So if you guys literally browbeated, we can disagree. It makes for great debate. That conversation could have went a lot different. I'm responsible too, right? I'm responsible too. But that situation could have went a lot different had when there was a disagreement. We all just get on there and debate debate the issues. And that's really what we should have done, is debate the issues. Why do you feel that way, Dolly? I was just floored. I'm sure many of you guys were floored. But he did have a conversation with the man. He's entitled to get additional information. Trust me, even me, even Bullhorn Betty. If I may go down a road of one thing, but as information becomes available to me, I may be saying, well, I'm starting to feel this way. Maybe it's time to go back to the beginning and look at the case. Things like that. So I just want everybody to take a chill pill, like literally take a chill pill. Okay. I'm still texting with Dolly. There's no love lost here. Okay. He's fine. I'm fine. Marissa's fine. This too shall pass. But not to support your creator, not to mod his chat. I don't know what the situation is. I only got a little clip of that. And if that's the case, seriously, let's grow up here. Please, let's just, no disrespect to anybody, but that's just, come on, he's our boy. No matter how you look at it, he's our boy. He's part of the team. He will always be, unless something unless he just turns to be like this major D-bag, right? And we've watched Dolly enough that, he maybe at times an a-hole, but come on, let's be honest, right? So it's just I'd like to start getting the positivity back into our channel, back into our life, and realize that we're all individual people. We're not going to be parroting each other on every single case. And at the end of the day, that's okay. That is okay. But sometimes when people are down, kicking them while they're down shows more about you than about them. So you know what you do? You put information in front of people, you let them process it, and maybe they'll have a change of heart, maybe they won't, and that's still okay. It's still okay. But that's not what I wanted to talk about this morning. It just broke my heart when I heard that, and I'm just like, you've got to be joking me, right? Like, that stuff that came out of Dolly's mouth was shocking, but this is even more shocking for me. Like, come on. We're all grown adults here. Let's not have knee-jerk reactions. Let's see how things work out first, right? But I just think it was very poor. I don't know if that's the case. And I his mods make his channel. The reason why I was over there is because I enjoy listening to him. He's funny. I enjoy his chat. I enjoy his mods. And and him and I both we share mods. So, and many other creators share mods because, again, we're a different segment of the true crime than those hate channels. So people, work with multiple channels that have the same moral compass as they do. And that's okay. But I just don't want people it's just totally unnecessary. It's just totally unnecessary. So I hope, if that's what's going on his channel, I hope, you guys change course. I'll leave it at that. But here's a big shout out. We were going to be talking about all these cases coming up, and we're going to be talking about more because we do have a lot of cases going up. We're not going to be really getting a whole lot of new information on the Idaho 4. So we're going to continue monitoring that. We're going to continue talking about that. We're going to be but as part of my research, I'm looking in cases. What's going on here? Okay. I'm looking in cases and just doing some research this morning. And a big shout out. You guys know Nerdy Attic and I have not always been like BFFs. We know each other. Many people don't know what he even looks like. I do. We've talked. He was out at Gabby Petito. He was at Quentin Simon. I sometimes don't know how to take him. But I truly believe that his heart is in the right place. I really do. And so I just happened to be doing some research this morning on Athena. And lo and behold, he put together this this like I don't know, slideshow or you know, collage of photos, and I'm just like, I just happened to come across it, and it almost breaks my heart. And I even wrote, and I'm just like so sad, but you know, thank you for reminding us why we are all here. And I want to show that to you guys because I think we need to remember why we're here. We're not here for the drama. We're not here for the you know, find out who's mad at who today. That's not what Bullhorn Betty channel was built on. That's not what many channels were built on. That's not what Nerdy Addicts channel was built on. Okay. So I'm gonna show this to you. Let me see if I can get it up on here. Can I make it bigger? Give me just a second. Maybe I can't. Thought I'd be able to increase it. So I'll just go ahead and put this up here. So these are the reasons why we are here. This is why we are here. You see those faces? We're here to bring awareness to the atrocities that go on across this country and find a way to help, whether it be bringing attention to a case, whether it be, you know, advocating for more evidence, more information, for whatever reason. This is why we're here. We're here for these victims. We're not here for petty squabbles. So if you think that that teams of people that have heart, that are here for the right reasons, that are here to advocate for these victims, are going to allow one little disagreement stop the focus of why we are here, then you guys don't know us too well. You really don't. But this is why we are here. These beautiful faces. And these are just the children. Like, I bet you if Nerdy Addict put together all the victims that we've covered over the last 2 years, just 2 years alone, I bet what we would find out is there are a lot of them. And those are the ones we've covered. They really are. So I'm going to go ahead and get through telling you guys good morning. But I just wanted to, you know, just put some things in perspective. And not only that, you guys know every now and again. Now, granted, this was not the case in this situation. I'm not going to act like it was. But there are some times that we as creators will kind of throw a monkey wrench into the cog, right? We'll throw it into the wheel to bring attention to a case. We will. I will do whatever it takes. Let me explain this to my audience. I will do whatever it takes to bring attention to a case that's losing attention, period. If that means I've got to go out there with a bullhorn, if that means I've got to do something antagonistic to a hate channel to turn them on their heads, if that means I've got to fight with somebody on my own team to have a debate about a situation that creates a firestorm on YouTube to get people talking about these cases, I would do that. Period. I would. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I would absolutely do it. That was not the case here, but had it been, can you imagine how many people on the channel just didn't get it? Like, that's why we don't walk away over stupid, petty stuff. We're adults. But anyways, I just wanted to go through here. Good morning, SoFlo Mama, Net L, Sharon Perez, nice to see you. D, Ronnie, my one of my mods. Maria, Spilled Beans, good morning. Lake 7 Up, Canadian Wolverine, nice, I love that. Bridget, mom of 2. Kimberly, nice to see you, love. Patricia, Miss Lee, mom of 3, good morning all. Pin 1010. Nana of 7. Tammy Sue, Granny Southern Wolf, or Southern Granny Wolf. It's a little dyslexia this morning. No big deal, just a little dyslexia. Kelly, SB, Heather, Miss Pete, Gator Girl for Life. Nice to see you in here this morning. Gigi for Life. Nice to see you. Peachy. Mary, did I say SB? I already said SB. Michelle, nice to see you. Mama Llama, Sonia, it's nice to see you guys. Candy apple. You know what? I don't remember the last time I had a candy apple. We need to have a candy apple show on here. Let's make Carmel. Let's make the Bullhorn Betty cooking channel. All right. Maria, it's nice to see you. Angie, Heather, Carla, Akita, Kim, everybody else. D, I'm just trying to scroll through here and see if I'm missing anybody. Heather B, Beachy, nice to see you. Searching for the missing. Love that name. Allison, the bored one. Well, let's hope we don't bore you this morning, Allison. Phoenix Rising, nice to see you. I am Team Summer. Blessed Mama. Connie, nice to see you. Jennifer L, nice to see you. Hope everything's going well. So everybody else, if I missed you, I am totally sorry. So we have a lot. Like yesterday, I was dealing with county. I went to the county. I've learned about utilities, and then I couldn't handle it anymore. So I ended up going to another meeting, and but I was just I don't really like. I know utilities in the county is ultra important, and they're talking about apparently we sell water to the city of Palmetto and all this stuff. And I'm not going to bore you with everything, but listen to this. This is something I didn't know. Did you know that our recycling program here actually makes methane gas? You think, hey, you didn't know that? But they actually convert that methane gas into powering stuff here for the county. I'm telling you. I'm like, I never even knew that. And they actually take it and they have other stuff that they make with it, that stuff that comes off. They sell that stuff to like farmers and things like that for agricultural purposes. And I'm like, well, dang. Talk about the recycling program. Like we think we throw our cans in the recycling bin and they go out there and they sell the tin to somebody else to make a new can and, you know, the plastic and stuff. And while they do some of that stuff, some of the processing they do, actually, they do to get certain types of other materials out of it. Even these pellets. And these pellets, they actually, you know, again, sell to the farmers for agricultural purposes and things like that. But it was just neat. I couldn't handle it. It was a boring conversation, but there were some major things that were going on that I was none the wiser. Very important stuff. You guys should get involved in your community. That was just a learning experience for me. I was in awe as how much I very rarely, you know, I learn new things every day, of course. You know, when you stop learning, you know, that's, to me, you should always be learning something new because you'll never have it. You know, none of us will have it. We will never have all of it, right? So it's always learning. I love to learn. I love learning new things. I love hearing good things like, you know, that this metal is not just being thrown away and nothing happens to it. It's just it is dumbfounding to me, all the stuff I don't know with trash. Who knew? So anyways, I'm not going to bore you with that, but it was just interesting. I thought, well, if it was interesting for me, maybe it's interesting because I know a lot of people out here, you know, they're probably like, it's just recycling. Nobody cares. Let me just throw it in the garbage. Maybe you might change your mind about the recycling program. I'm just saying. I didn't know all the stuff it did. Maybe you didn't either. Okay, nice to see you. Okay, Crime News. Thank you for the super chat. This country girl's life and I are going to Cyril, Oklahoma Saturday to put some pretty little toy. Oh, God bless you. God bless you. Okie, would you mind reaching out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com? And I'd be happy to give you my phone number so we can chat while you're out there. Definitely interested in learning anything because this was the one trip I really wanted to go on. And I was actually tempted to pull the trigger on it. And I just, you know, I just got back from 2 trips in Idaho and just in like literally within the last 30 days, which cost a pretty penny. You know, I mean, think about it. It cost us $1,000 just to get home because Spirit canceled our airline. our flight. I do want to tell you guys this, and I tell everybody this. I will never, ever in the history of my life ever fly with Frontier or Spirit, ever. They are the absolute worst. And not only that, let me tell you guys this. It is a con, what they're doing. It is a complete scam. And I'm surprised that the people who regulate these aircrafts don't do something about it. It's really irritating. So here's the kicker with these airlines. They, on all these searches, because we all use Expedia, we all use these travel apps to try to help budget our trips a little better. I do it. I'm sure if you guys are going on trips, you guys do the same thing. How they're doing this is they're lowering their the rates for their actual flights. That's what they do. They lower the rates for their actual flight. But everything costs 10 times more. You can't take carry-on bags without paying for them. You can't check bags without paying for them. And you're talking about, by the time you add those two items alone, your ticket is more expensive than if you would have flown with, say, Delta or American Airlines or United or things like that. Now you have to add your seat. Now you have to add the aggravation of knowing that they may cancel a flight, that they are not reliable. That me trusting Spirit cost Olivia and I almost $1,000. Our ticket going up there, we budgeted for both of us, was about $800. That was a round trip ticket. We spent almost over $1,000 to get home one way. And that was due to Spirit. So I know that the flight appears to be cheaper, but once you add your seat, your bags, and everything else, you're going to find out that it's going to be about as expensive as an American airline flight or a United flight, except with them, you don't have the aggravation. You just don't. They're nicer, they're kinder, they care about the people on their flights. Now, like in Seattle, Washington, that's garbage. They have all third parties running their airlines, and they do shitty jobs at, excuse my language, I got to work on it. They do crappy jobs at customer service because they don't care about the customer. They're not being paid by the customer. They're being paid by the airline to be a-holes. Let's be honest. So people can, and not only that, but I like the whole Delta thing. You literally took a bag off one scale and put it on the other, and it changed weight. 60 pounds is 60 pounds no matter what scale you put it on. When it starts fluctuating like that, 4 and 5 pounds from one scale to the next, you got problems. And you probably shouldn't be charging people for weight when your scales are wrong. Just saying. That cost me an extra $100, by the way. $30 to get my bag to Seattle, $130 to get my bag back. A true friendships go through the ringer, come out stronger on the other side. Yes. And trust me, if you if you don't have conflict resolution, or you can't handle having an argument with somebody without walking away, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying that right now, I can tell you that Marissa and I love Dolly. I know Dolly loves us. At the end of the day, we're going to be fighting for these kids because we all have the same end game in mind: helping. Trust me, this too shall pass. But not to mod for them? That may not be the case. I didn't watch the whole video. I was like, you've got to be, that's the first thing I'm thinking. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. So, guys, don't do that. Good morning. Have a great day. Love you all. Thank you. Love you too. Love you too. I appreciate it. Connie Branch says, everybody's going to have disagreements at some point in the life. Doesn't like him. Doesn't mean you don't ever want to talk to him again. It just is a disagreement. Absolutely. And you know what? Even if we all stop talking, I mean, look at Marissa and I. You guys watched us. We had I didn't really have the heated argument. I stayed out of it. She was upset with me when we got back last year from the Summer Wells case. And it was just because it stressed us all out so much that we all kind of when all of us, even Olivia, like Olivia and Jonathan, they weren't really YouTubing for like 6 months, literally 6 months. So we had a disagreement for 6 months, right? And it doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, good people are going to surround themselves with good people, and nobody understands what it's like to be a YouTuber except other YouTubers. So we're going to find the people that, have our same moral compass, that have the same integrity and things like that. Some people come on here and say horrible things about Marissa, because she's a little, she's out there. She doesn't mind telling somebody to go F off. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I bet you she doesn't get ran over as much as some people do, right? Because of that attitude. Let me think positive, right? Flip it around. Find out why. People just want to blame. They don't want to look at the reasons why, right? I think if we took a step back and looked at the reasons why, we might have a little more understanding. The woman is a wonderful person. I would not come up here, and I've had disagreements with her, okay? Can she be nasty? Of course. Can I be nasty? Of course. Come on. But at the end of the day, we're fighting for these kids. We're putting real money and resources behind these kids. We're putting real money and resources behind changing laws to better protect our children. That's what the collaborative front is all about. Why do you think, Marissa wanted the heels on the ground? Why do you think she's working so hard for heels on the ground? That is for the children. That is for the victims. That is a collaborative front where you got some really ballsy people fighting for these kids and doing everything lawfully in our power to advocate for them. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And not only that, why would we allow petty personality conflicts or anything otherwise to deter us from the mission? What's the mission? To help as many victims as possible. I can't do that alone. Everybody here in this chat, we couldn't do that alone. It takes real help. It takes collaborating with a lot of people. But that is a secret sauce here. We all are on the same page. We all research. We all are sharing our research. We're trying to help one another. We're trying to help one another get the message out. But it's not just about getting any old message out. It's getting the right message out. Do we get that 100% of the time? Of course not. Again, that would be a perfect world. We can clearly acknowledge we don't live in a perfect world. I wish we did. I guarantee if we lived in a perfect world, we would be watching a Bullhorn Betty cooking channel right now as opposed to these little faces. Seriously. But enough about that. I'm glad you guys gave me a few moments of the floor to get into that. So today we're going to be talking about the Idaho 4. We're going to be talking about the updates on Athena Brownfield. So devastating, so upsetting. And we're going to talk about Anna Walsh because, again, another upsetting discovery with her. A lot of breaking news came out yesterday. Ivan, I don't want to start out with Athena because I got so many emotions with this one case. I really do. I have emotional attachment with all of these cases, but with the Athena Brownfield, there's just some things that I just am very frustrated about, and it's upsetting me, and it's upsetting you guys, and I will get those out. But the Idaho 4, not a whole lot coming out other than the People magazine article. I actually was just scrolling through YouTube, and I saw Zab Girl come up, and she started, going through this, and it was about the People magazine article related to the Idaho 4 and how Brian reached out to one of the girls, but didn't say which one. And remember, we read the complaint, and Maddie was first, and I explained that, believe it or not, people don't realize there is, even with your motions, even writing out the motions, there is a strategy in positioning your arguments on those motions, on those complaints. And the one thing glaring to me, because I am, I have an AA in paralegal studies, I've worked for law firms, multiple law firms, and I understand the positioning of certain things on these legal documents. And one of the first things I noticed was Maddie Mogen was listed first. Maddie Mogen was, not Kaylee Gonzalez, Maddie Mogen. And I kept saying, is that a clue? And then we hear that Brian may have reached out to one of the girls, and now that whole Maddie Mogen at the top of the complaint is making me wonder, was she the one? Was she the one? Everybody all assumed it was Kaylee Gonzalez as being the primary target. She may have just been the one that put up the biggest fight, for all we know. It could have been her. It could have been, in all fairness, Kaylee Gonzalez as the primary target. But I just really believe that with Maddie Mogen's name being listed first, we're going to find out that if this is true, it's People Magazine, but it doesn't matter what publication company you're from. It doesn't matter what news organization you're from. Every single news organization in the history of their existence has gotten information wrong at least a few times in their history. So it is possible that this article could be misconstrued because it says an investigator close to the case. And it bothers me because in Moscow, I feel like everybody there would not be breaking a gag order. And if this is an investigator close to the case, you're talking about a law enforcement person that just violated a court order. And that to me is, if that is true, should be a fireable offense. Okay, I'm in this. I do like following the law. People say, "Oh, you're doing this, you're overstepping this, you're doing that." Yes and no, right? Yes and no. I like getting as much information that I'm lawfully allowed to have. I'm not looking to get, now if there's leaked information out there that somebody else put out there, I will pull from that because it's already out there in the world. But I would never be the one that ever leaked the information because that's just not me. If it's leaked, I'll take it, but it has to come to me. If it's not, I won't leak it. If I have information in my possession that I know would harm a case, I would never, ever put it out there on the internet. I just wouldn't. It just goes against everything that I believe in. It goes against my moral values. Because at the end of the day, no matter what the haters say, we want these cases prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. We want the right people brought to justice. And we can't do that if we're throwing cogs in the wheel. Now, if we legitimately go out there and get the information ourselves through our sweat, tears, and work, then yes, I will use that information depending on, because there was a lot of stuff in the Summer Wells case that we never released. We never released because we thought it would jeopardize the case. And it was turned over to law enforcement, but we never released a lot of the stuff that we uncovered while we were out there. And that's, again, goes right into my shock with the whole situation of Dolly. Everybody's like, oh, well, he had the interview. You're jealous of the interview. No, I'm not. Because quite frankly, I spoke to Don. Don did not want to talk to Dolly. Okay. He did not want to talk to Dolly. Candace absolutely hated Dolly. And I asked them why. I said, he's a good guy. So if, that's what people don't understand that are listening to this. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes because we don't tell you. And nor are we required to tell you. But I guarantee the one reason why Don and Candace ultimately did meet with Dolly is because I told them that he is a fair guy. So people are like, I hope Don Wells and Candace don't talk to Bullhorn and remove Bullhorn and MGL. First of all, I'm not trying to catch Don into crap. Okay. I have my opinion of him. He has his opinion of me. Okay. I can tell you, I don't trust him. And I can tell you, he doesn't trust me. But what we do is keep an open dialogue. We keep an open dialogue between each other. We have from the beginning of this case. He calls me despicable, horrible names whenever he's angry. And that's okay. I hope his messaging starts changing. I hope he starts calming down. I hope he realizes that talking to people like that when he's upset is not helping his situation. But at the end of the day, we are seeking the truth. That's what we are seeking. We are seeking the truth. I don't know how much more I want to go into the Summer Wells case right now, because again, I got to go back. I got to review everything. I got to remember. I got to go through my confidentiality file to find out what videos wound up in there and see if any of them can come out of storage and be shown. So, anyways, that's enough with that. So we're on to Anna Walsh and Brian Walsh. Anna Walsh has been missing. She's a mom. Her husband's just a real piece of work, a lot older than she is. He seems like he's a con man. He tried to sell fraudulent paintings and got busted. He was waiting trial for that. And then all of a sudden, and not trial, he had already been convicted. He was home on house arrest. And could go out to pick up the kids. He could go, as long as he had permission, he could do this, he could do that. I don't know what happened, but he ended up, his wife. They found blood in the basement. They found, evidence on the computer, and they can't find her. He said that he was taking care of his mother, and apparently where he said he was going to be and where he actually was were two totally different places. So that's leaving the investigators, with a bad taste in their mouth. And not only that, but the actual searches on his computer that he was trying to review and check out. I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to take a second and go on a tangent here. And it's a little crazy because I'm in true crime and I'm thinking, good Lord, if somebody around me ever got murdered and they came and checked my computer, they would think I was a psychopath because of all the research I do on here for this channel, right? Like some of the stuff that he searched, I've searched myself, and it kind of sucks, but I'm in true crime. He's not. He's into conning people out of money. I was thinking about, oh my God, what is in my search history? I'm wondering what's in many of your search histories, right? So but it's kind of awful because right before that, the whole dismemberment thing, it's a little disturbing. We kind of know what kind of condition that she's in. And with the blood in the basement, we know he not only did that, but we also know that he must have went through with that whole thing. And I'm just thinking, how can you do that to the mother of your child? Like how? But this guy is so sick. He was just a con man. And I kept looking into his background. Many don't know that he owned a wine business. He owned a steak business. And I keep wondering how many people were suckered out of top dollar wine and they got junk. They got junk. They got not what they paid for. This guy seems like that kind of guy that would change labels on a bottle or pour wine in the bottle, right? And recork it. This is the kind of guy we're dealing with. And his wife is gone. And he was finally arrested for her death because remember, he went to court for lying to law enforcement. Now he's being charged with her. They still have not found her, but they must, that blood evidence from that basement, how that kind of works, my understanding how this all works. The reason why they're able to determine that somebody's dead based upon, blood staining or stuff in a basement, that stuff never goes away. Whenever they spray that luminol and stuff like that, even when you clean up, they can see your wipes and swipes that you try to clean up, but they can tell based upon how big that pool or that area was that had the blood in it, whether somebody could survive without that blood. And if the answer is no, we know we're dealing with a homicide. And if the answer is yes, then we're looking for an injured person, right? So that's where it is. And if they determine that one is her blood, two, there's too much blood there that no human could survive that blood loss, then they can, put in that this person is most likely dead, and therefore they're going further. So they found that evidence and they charged him with her murder yesterday. I don't know what's going in with it. Let me just keep going through here and see if I got any questions, because I'm still behind in chat. And I know you probably are chatting this up over here because I'm like 30 minutes behind. Oh, thank you. Thank you, by the way, Okie. Did I see Justice? Hi, Justice. It's nice to see you, love bug. Or should I say, Steffers always calls you guys coffee beans. I should probably call it coffee beans. Let's see here. I'm scrolling past a lot of your comments, guys. I'm sorry. I'm already past those. Jen Liu, Betty, because you're familiar with politics, do you think advocating for more money being spent on I don't think more money being spent into the system here for people that don't know what I'm talking about. I don't think nice to see you, Miss Potty Mouth. Sword of the Spirit, nice to see you as well. I don't think that throwing money at this problem is going to fix it. What I think we need is responsible legislation on this. I mean, we've got all these databases for all the criminals in this country, but these parents that are injuring their children, we've got squat for. And we come on here almost on a daily and hear how another kid has lost their life at the hands of their caretaker, guardian, or parent. And I'm getting tired of that. So until we acknowledge that we need a system in place, which is, it would be spending money, it would be throwing money and spending more, we need a new system. But it needs to be a responsible system, a right system, something that's going to keep our children safe and our social workers even safer. Because we have to realize that there are some really disgusting and despicable people out there that have children. And these social workers have to interact with them. And as we can see, they don't have problems injuring children. What makes you think, like even Candace Wells, she pointed a shotgun at a social worker that was coming to get her kids because she was an unfit parent to take care of those children. Her first set of kids that everybody forgets about, that were removed from her custody and never returned back to her. I mean, they both had a few tries with this whole kid thing. They can't get it right. They can't get it right. They're putting their children in harm's way. That's why the states, multiple states, have taken their children away from them. Wisconsin took Candace's children away from her, and so did Tennessee. I don't remember what state Don Wells was in. It might have been Arkansas, whenever he lost his kids, and they were taken from him permanently, and Tennessee. So you've got these people that have had multiple children taken away. And you know what? Like these kids, like the boys right now, do you think that they would have been left in their care and custody and control for as long as they would have been there if DFACs out there had realized that they've already had kids taken from them permanently? They would have probably jumped into action a lot quicker had they had the information, and that is what this database will provide for them. And I really hope politicians are taking note about this. But yes, we do need, this system is broken. It's not functioning. We haven't changed policies since 1965, for the love of God. We need change. There's so many, I mean, come on. Trust me, I'm gonna blink and sneeze, and it's gonna be a 100-year-old system. Do you think the problems we had 100 years ago are the problems we have today? Of course not. So yeah, I don't know. I think Dolly is acting different, and it doesn't make sense. Lives are not like normal lately. Yeah. I don't know. I think, maybe he's just trying to find himself, who knows? Maybe he's trying to shake it up. Maybe he's feeling kind of like things are kind of, see, a lot of this stuff, you got to remember, for creators, we have to be engaged as well, right? In order for us to engage our audience, we have to be engaged with stuff. Maybe he's just stepping back. Maybe he's saying, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he wants more differing of opinions. Maybe his chat parents him too much, and maybe he wants that diversity in his channel. We don't know. We don't know. But what I can tell you is I believe in him. He's a good guy. I don't think he would ever do anything to throw a case like some of the other creators have done, or maybe he's just going through some funkiness. Everybody, it's after the beginning of the year. Maybe he's looking at life. Who knows? Who knows what he's going through? He might be going through menopause. Did anybody ever watch that menopause Broadway? Oh, it is hilarious. If you haven't watched it, it's freaking hilarious. We did it here at one of our theaters, and I remember back then I was so shy. My friend Mary from work, just when I worked at golly, was the law firm or the CPA office? I can't remember. But anyways, I remember Mary, she was really into the local theater. And they did the menopause, and I was supposed to be the one that kind of brings up there. Wait a minute, wait, hey, I'm like, it was so funny, and I'm like, I gotta walk in front of all these people. Oh my God, I can't do that. I can't do that. And I was so shy. You wouldn't know how shy I was. I'm actually pretty sensitive. You guys think I'm like this bulldozer of a person, and while I put my big girl panties on and do what I have to do, I really am a very sensitive person. Like, I really am. And I just, and I was used to be very, very, I always like around the people that I knew, I'd always be talkative and things like that. But strangers, I had to know you before you got to see that personality in me. And I'm kind of still guarded with my personality now. Like, people don't, unless you know me, you really don't know me. You see this, but I'm very, believe it or not, a very sensitive. Like, you could say something that I would bust out in tears. Like, if somebody hurt my feelings, like, not these people. I have to actually care for you to get, for something you to say, to hurt my feelings. But with my family and friends, if they were disappointed in me, it would break my heart. I would probably cry. It really hurts me. I never want to disappoint anybody. I don't want to disappoint my mom. I don't want to disappoint my friends, and my friends know when I'm getting funky. My friends know when I'm getting funky. And I was just talking to a friend yesterday, and they're like, don't know what's going on. Like, you need some more positivity in your life. That's why you heard me say stuff about positivity, because, looking back and sitting and thinking about it, they're right. They're right. I need more positive things, positive outlets. I deal with some really gruesome stuff. And, if I say self-care, I'm going to shoot myself. No, I'm just joking. But maybe, who knows, right? I've been doing things my way for so long. Maybe it's time to try something new, right? I ain't up in my membership to watch a channel, and guess now you got for some, what? I don't, I was only going to do one. It's members only. I've never done that before, but we've been talking about it, and I've moved it like 3 or 4 times. You don't have to upgrade your membership. Like, but you're a member, so you'd be there. Am I missing something? It's not about my membership. Is this about my membership? Because I know even yesterday not yesterday, the day before, when I was on MGL, she was on there, and she's like, apparently YouTube had increased some things, and her fees increased. And I looked at mine, and I went back to the beginning. I took a screenshot when I set the account up, and it all mine stayed the same. So I don't know what that was about. Miss it through smokes a lot. Yeah, I only do a few members, because at the end of the day, I want as many people coming here to learn, because this one's going to be about the death penalty. And I know that it's, it's going to be a kind of I opposing viewpoint. Some people may believe in it, some people may not. And I just don't want that on like the streets of YouTube, because it's more of a internal personal preference. And I just don't want, I want it to be locked down so people can have their opinions to have in the chat. And, our thoughts and feelings on it. So I just didn't think that was a public conversation as much as it was a members only conversation. So this is my public date, my public coffee club. This is for everybody. You don't have to be a member. You don't even have to be a subscriber to watch, but you do have to be a subscriber to comment. And that's just how we roll. So, I heard a little on that case. I'm still curious about the membership. You guys don't have to upgrade membership here. Accountability is the secret sauce, Andrew. I haven't heard him apologize. He flipped on Summer. Oh, yeah. I don't necessarily think he flipped. I got to watch it was just hard for me to listen to. I didn't even listen to that whole live that he did on Summer Wells, but there was a lot of questions I had, like even with the videos of Dawn. I'd like to know when those search videos started. How long are they each? What days did they happen? When did they start? When did he start recording them? Was there other people with him, or was it just him walking in the woods? When you think of searches, you think of things like Paola Miranda Rosa, where her family got 100 volunteers out there to go search, or Brandy Neal that had a large group of people meet to go pepper the town with flyers. Those are the kind of searches that I'm looking for them having. And if they didn't have that, they didn't bring their community together for this. The question is why? And, I just have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions with that, I won't be able to answer until I see it for myself. So I don't know. I just want to, right at this moment, the good news is people are talking about Summer Wells again. So out of all this, that's a great accomplishment. It really is. And I completely understand, because I was taken back, but I also know Dolly. I know he's sensitive. I know he likes to believe everybody's a good person. And we have to remember that side of Dolly, that the things that we love sometimes about people are the same things that we kind of get frustrated with the person over, right? Everybody loves, me being boisterous until they're offended by the boisterousness. Now, you see what I'm saying? Like it's a double-edged sword. Like it's the thing that people love about you, and it can be the thing that people hate about you as well. But let's be honest. We all love Dolly because he's a freaking bleeding heart. Okay? He's a freaking bleeding heart. He's just a nice guy. Okay? He's just a nice guy. And we have to remember that. He's easily duped. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Stop. I just want to know what gift Don has to mesmerize people. Like I just felt, I don't know. I don't even want to get into it, because I just wanted to, I love Dolly. I think he's great. And, instead of attacking him, I think we should probably maybe look behind the curtain and ask certain questions. And I think the first question I have is why. Why do you feel this way? What's making you feel this way? And what can I show you different that might be able to answer some of that, unknown for you? We have literally thousands of hours between 4 people, thousands of hours of footage out there in Rogersville, Tennessee. So maybe Dolly just needs to, maybe I just need to send him everything. Maybe that's what I need to do. I don't know. Maybe he's not, I don't like seeing my friend suffer. We came down on him pretty hard over it. And I think, he hears us, right? Dolly he's blind, but he sees. Dolly had an epiphany. Oh, Dolly had an epiphany. He was blind, but now he sees. Yeah, and you know what? I mean, we just kind of had to shake the tree. I wanted my friend back. I mean, he kind of went took a left turn, took the wrong turn somewhere. I don't know what to say. But this is not about Summer right now. We definitely want Summer's name out there. And guess what? Everybody's talking about Summer again. So if nothing more, we have a positive, something positive that came out of it, right? Think about it. We do have something positive that came out of it. And as long as we have some positive stuff that comes out of maybe something that could be perceived as negative, then we've already won. We already won. So just a big shout out to Dolly Vision. Bullhorn Betty channel still supports Dolly Vision. Bullhorn Betty channel supports any creators that is truly trying to help these kids. And at the end of the day, it's what it's all about. Let's see, where are we? Oh, and Pebbles, thank you so much for all your help. A lot of people have been giving help on Instagram. I just want a big shout out here to, hold on, let me pull those all up and just give a big shout out. First and foremost, my mods, subscribers. Oh, what are you doing here? Hold on. Delete, 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 delete. Okay, let's try it again. Why is my face recognition not working? Hold on. So a big shout out to Jennifer Lee, Sheila, Melody. Nice to see you guys. We got some more. Karen, nice to see you. My mod squad. Ooh, I forgot. It looks like Emma and I, Crime Stories Obsessed, might be doing something soon. I don't know what it's going to be like, but be on the lookout for that. I was super excited. You know, I've known her for a while. I'm very interested in her. She's such a sweet person, and she's our friend across the pond. And so I don't know. It's going to be neat. I'll finally get to speak with her. You know, we've always been speaking through chat and other things because of the distance and everything. So I think it'll be kind of cool. So just be on the lookout. I'll let you guys know if and when that all happens, but it looks like it's going to. So it's kind of cool. I'd like to get to know her. All right, let's get on with it. So we got a few documents. I don't know if you guys have heard, and I'm going to give a big shout out the docket, Chasing Paper 89. I reached out to him and just told him thank you for his work that he's been doing on the case. And he's been posting a lot of different stuff. Hold on, let me see this. He's been posting a lot of different stuff on here about this case. Hold on here. What is that share to post? Okay. Sorry, guys. People are sending me a whole bunch of stuff right now. And somebody that could be perceived, I got an email from somebody that told me that they're Athena Brownfield family, members. So I don't, it could be a troll. It might be the true Athena Brown family member. I did send them an email back, just, telling them I'm sorry for their loss and asking, about the kind of family dynamic there. So hopefully when I get some responses back, if it truly is Athena's family member, maybe we'll see, what's going on. Again, I when I get emails like that, you never know. There's so many trolls out there that do stupid stuff like this. Why they do it, I have no clue, but they do. Apparently they get some kind of entertainment value from it. So whatever, we'll see how that all transpires. Hopefully it is a family member, but we will see. Pebbles, I get both sides of it. I have modded for several channels. Oh, this is from Big Boy. It took I took it personal before when the creator took wrench, but really it gave me time to enjoy the content, not watch the comments. Yeah, that's another thing too. I mean, I know that's why I always try to thank my mods on here, because it is a task. I mean, we have 700 people in the chat right now. For all those that are just coming in and tuning in, please go out there and hit the like button. But we all have, lots of people. And we have limited mods, and some mods, work and they can't, participate in that and stuff like that. But they work very hard to make sure that people are being respectful in here. And it's a job. So, maybe if he's the one that pulled the wrenches, maybe he has a reason. Maybe he just wants to see where it goes. Maybe he's just trying to make sure that people's voices aren't being silenced on his channel. Because it sounds like that maybe some people, and I'm not saying anybody does this, but it's possible. I remember we had one mod here. I think her name was Patricia or something like that. We had one mod here, and she was so quick. Anybody that said she would block them. She wouldn't time them out. She just started blocking. Like, I can't have you do that. Like, people are entitled to their opinions, and so what? So it's one of those things that we have to be careful too. But, I think White Rabbit said it best one time. She's like, what's the worst thing that can happen? What is the worst thing that can happen having a rogue mod? They delete they block a bunch of people. So what do you have to do? You got to go into your back channel and unblock a bunch of people. Like, that's the worst thing that can happen. So it's like, when she kind of explained it like that, I really don't care anymore, because what happens? People end up reaching out to me by email if they feel like they were blocked inappropriately, and say, hey, I've been blocked. I look at what's going on, and we unblock them. Oh, crap. That reminds me. I haven't been in my mod thing for sorry, guys. I'll have to go over there. So here, let me just do one other thing. Athena Brownfield. I'm going to go ahead and get into this a little bit, because we've kind of talked about Idaho 4. There's still a lot of stuff going on there, and I want to kind of discuss more into the communication that Brian Koberger had with one of them. I'm curious to who you think the person he was trying to communicate with was. Was it Xana? Was it Maddie? Was it, Kaylee? Was it Ethan? One of the victims, People magazine is saying he tried to reach out to. They never responded to him, but apparently he kept posting the same exact message to them, and it went unresponded to. So I'm a little I gotta handle some personal stuff. Okay, Miss Leah 3. So that was kind of an interesting revelation. So I'm very interested about that. I'm interested about what my audience thinks about that. But this whole Athena Brownfield, how devastating. How stinking devastating hearing what came out yesterday. I remember when it came out, it literally, when it was posted, it was only 2 minutes, and I'm stuck in a meeting and I couldn't do anything about it. And my heart was just breaking for this baby. And I keep thinking, how many times were these children abused in that home before this was the final one? Before this was it? How many times did he hit that little girl in her face? She wasn't in school. She never went to a doctor. How many times were those children abused in their care, and no one knew? No one. Her 5-year-old sister just wandering down the street. There's just something wrong in this world. There really is. There's just something wrong with people. Listen to this. This is a video I did over a year ago.
Tom, it's just a tough subject. A recent study by Brown University showed that nearly 450 children are killed each year by their parents.
My daughters were picked up on a Friday by their father to spend the weekend, and that night he pumped carbon monoxide into their bedroom and slit their throats.
Justice have begun for 2 children killed by their mother in Pickens County.
9-year-old Hayden King was laid to rest today. Hayden's 4-year-old sister Harper will have a celebration of life service tomorrow morning.
Here's a story that's breaking at 6 o'clock. It's all centered around the 3 people you see on your screen. The key pieces in a Middletown murder case.
On the left is James Hutchinson. Police say the 6-year-old was killed allegedly by his own mother.
East Los Angeles mother was charged today with killing her 3 young children. The youngest was less than 2 months old.
At 6 with breaking news.
Good evening to you, friends. Greg Merriweather along with Elizabeth Vow. Our top story today, that precious little 2-year-old right now. 2 people are facing charges accused of murdering little Nevaeh Allen. Investigators found the 2-year-old dead in Mississippi after several days of searching.
One of those blamed in her death, the girl's mother, Lanaya Cardwell.
That gives me goosebumps and tears me up every time I play it. And that's the reality. And did you hear 485 children every single year meet their demise at the hands of their parents? That's more than a child a day. I want that to sink in. I want that to sink in to everybody. That's more than a child a day. I covered 5 or 6 children last year. Maybe 7. There is so many more. So many more. And it took me a little time, and that is why I say, there's got to be changes. And until we start speaking up and rising up and saying we're sick of this crap, we need better stuff in place. And these parents are getting smarter and smarter. Look at Ivan. If it wasn't for Alicia breaking her silence and telling them what happened, I don't know if they would have went over to their prior property to look for her. I really don't. Nikki says, rest in peace, Kaylee Mae McDaniel. Oh, Nikki is so sad. Betty, I really need to reach out to you about my situation. Rise up in our own community. Yeah, Lisa Marie, reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. And I got another case here. A lady reached out to me, but I've been so consumed with the Idaho 4, I have not been able to even look in her granddaughter's case. And I've got to start looking into that case because I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's right from here, right from my home state of Florida. And there's something that's just not adding up. I haven't really looked too much into it, but I need to. Children need life alert when they're born for emergency. Yeah, but a lot of these kids, and this is the bad part, the statistics are so high from 5 and under being injured by their parents. It's as they get older, they can withstand more. Golly, that's horrible to even say, to handle more brutality, right? Without dying. It's just, I don't know. This world's getting crazy. Children, but I do agree something. But even with the life alert, what are parents going to do? They're just going to take it away from them, right? That's what I mean. Like I said, the secret sauce in most of these households, not all of them, most of them, is drugs, alcohol, and violence. Either drugs and violence, alcohol and violence, drugs, alcohol. But that is the secret sauce. It's usually one of the three, or all of the three, or two of the three. But that is usually the secret sauce to being a despicable parent. ZZT says, babies are proof of God's miracle and are lent to us by God. Then he starts raising them after age of maturity. Yeah. And then I was actually, it's kind of funny because last night I actually came in to unwind and watch Bruce Almighty. And it's just funny that you say that because I remember there's the one clip where, Bruce was on his knees and gets hit by the truck, and he goes up there and Morgan Freeman is like, he's God, and he's was asking him questions, and he's like, I made you, and I remember that spot, and it's just funny because ZZT just said that. I just watched that last night, so. Someone should interview her. I'll have to read those. Good morning, Chadwell. The case you showed in Middleton is saddest. Literally, he has not been found, but with being in water, not a good outcome. Oh, I agree. Karen Klein says, I think Dolly is entitled to his opinion, and maybe Dolly is trying to use reverse psychology to see if Don slips up. Prayers for Summer that something comes out of this too. I agree. And that's another thing. We don't know. And I just wish people would, just if you really are behind a creator, try to understand. We're not all going to be parroting even your thoughts, even as our audience. We're not going to parrot your thoughts. I don't really think we should. That would be kind of, to me, it'd be boring that we all have the same exact opinions and thoughts and everything. What is there to talk about, right? And just every now and again, we want to maybe explore a different area. I just think maybe it was the way. I think if he would have said exactly what he said, but in a different way, it might have been better received. I absolutely agree. The ones who were using him as stepping stones will now have to find a way to cap their own gold bricks. That's just my opinion. Let me go up and see what Katrina said. Hold on. I gotta go. I don't know what that is. Is this related to this? I don't know. I'm trying to find it. I can't see it. Did I miss over it? I don't know. How could she not know she deserves the same charge? Oh, okay. Now I got it. Thank you, Katrina Miller. You're talking about Alicia Adams. Absolutely. That was the one thing. And this is where we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation, because again, we love the Idaho 4, but Athena Brownfield is a 4-year-old child. And there's a lot of confusing things going on here. So let's just break it down. I'm just going to stop reading chats. If you guys want to just chill on the chats for just a second so I don't get too far behind, let's just hear this out. So Athena Brownfield, we don't know why she was in the care of Ivan and Alicia Adams. We know that Alicia Adams is family, and from my understanding, a cousin to the mother of the 2 children, Athena and her sister. I know her sister's name. I'm not going to say it here. Either way, apparently they've been in the care of these people for 2 years. 2 years. There is no court order. And you don't necessarily need a court order, but what you do need is a statement, a notarized statement from the parents saying that they are going to be acting. It's almost a power of attorney, if you will, stating that these people are going to be taking care of your child, that they have the full rights to make all the medical blah, 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 decisions on behalf of you for these children. And what they do is they file that piece of paperwork with their doctors, with the hospital, with the school, everything. They put that out there so that they are able to parent that child and do it without having any problems. They didn't have any of that paperwork in place. So these kids weren't enrolled in school. They weren't enrolled in preschool. They weren't going to doctors. Those children probably have never seen a doctor before in their life. And it makes me wonder, why would you not be enrolling these children into school? I mean, you got 2 additional children. You would think, from my point of view, I mean, if nothing more, you would like that break from them kids. If nothing more, having 6 children is a lot of freaking kids. Let's be honest. I don't know about now. Olivia, she wants 10 of them. I said, okay. She's like, you're going to babysit? I said, they're all coming back. They're all coming home with a bunch of bullhorns and a bunch of candy. I'll watch them. Right? Don't be upset when they turn into bullhorns. And, that's a lot of kids. So you would think that the parents would actually, would like the break from them. Why wouldn't they be in school? I don't know. I don't know. And why is mom and dad not in jail? I'm sorry. You're not absolved because you hand your children. This is the way the law works. Okay. As a parent, as a parent, can leave my children lawfully, walk away from my children, leave them. The only problem is I have to make sure that somebody's watching them, right? That they're they're being taken care of. It doesn't matter. There's no law that says mom and dad have to take care of the children. They're responsible for them, yes, but there's nothing that forces them. Just bear with me before you guys lose a gasket. But there is no law that says mom and dad shall be the only ones that take care of these kids. So when you take your child over to a babysitter, over to a family member's house, over to anybody's house, as long as you're leaving them in a safe environment, that is all that is required of you. You leave your children, that's unlawful. You leave your children in the care of somebody else, that's not unlawful. But here's the thing that I'm saying the parents need to be in jail for. Because in my mind, they knew this family had violence in it. Therefore, the actual parents of these children were negligent in placing those children in that home, which resulted in a death of one of those children. You see my legal argument? Mom and dad, or whomever, whether it was dad or whether it was mom that put those kids over at that house, should be in jail right along with them. Not charged as hefty as these people, but with Alicia. I agree with my audience member that said she should have the same charges as Ivan. You're absolutely right. And here's why. She had a duty to protect those children. And she watched one of them get murdered. And then she left all of her own children in his custody. Like, that woman should be charged with worse than Ivan, in my opinion. How dare you? Are you kidding me? You left your own children with a man you just watched beat the life out of a 4-year-old child, and you walked out to go be with your boyfriend? Sorry. How can I think positively when those are the... I'm just joking. I'm serious. You can't make this stuff up. How many people in my chat, and I am genuinely asking this. I truly am genuinely asking this. How many people in my chat believe that Alicia should have just as equal charges as Ivan? She knew it. She was an accessory before the fact, and she damn sure was an accessory after the fact. And then she leaves her own damn children with the murderer. Thank you, May. Thank you. God bless you. That's what I'm talking about. And even if, now listen to this, even if there was no harm or no violence in the household, how do you as a mother leave 4 beautiful babies that you gave birth to behind while you run off with your boyfriend? How do you do that? I mean, you take all these horrible negative elements away. How do you do that to your own damn kids? Like this woman, I'm sorry. She is just as despicable and disgusting as the garbage husband she married. And for her boyfriend, you are a very lucky man. You just don't even know it. The cops saved you a lot of heartache. And if I were you, I would turn around and I would run as fast as I can. And it might be very beneficial that maybe you quit sleeping with married women. That would be my first advice. If somebody's married, they're married. You don't mess with them. And you damn sure don't have respect or go and bring them home to mommy and daddy when they just left 4 kids behind to come and slob your knob. I'm sorry. It's disgusting. Wait, she had a husband? Oh, yeah, you didn't know that? Oh, yeah. She was married. She had just left that house. She left her children. They were all there together for Christmas. They were all there for Christmas. Husband and wife, 6 children. That's the night that they say the father, Ivan, beat this child to death. He was married too. Where is the moral compass of this country? I'm not mad at you, Steffers. I love you too. I want to say I'm a senior citizen. Let's read this. I want to read this. So Cindy Stover, nice to see you, by the way. Good morning. I want to say I'm a senior citizen. I enjoy the channel, but anymore I can't stand the vulgar, sexual, ugly crap coming out of MGL, and everyone seems to think it's okay. What do you all put up with it? Why do you put up with it? Because to be honest with you, she gets people's attention. And, sometimes, and let's face it, her channel grows pretty well. I mean, she's not lacking subs, members, Patreons, or anything else. People love her. They love her because she's brash. They love her because she's, you know, she captures people's attention. Even the people that don't like her still tune in to watch how crazy she's gonna be. She brings attention to cases. Look at what she was able to do for Vaughn McCrae, right? I mean, people tune in. Sometimes that, you know, I know people don't agree, Cindy. I try, like, even my language, I try to say, but I got a sailor's mouth. I've had it for years, from when I was out in the streets and, you know, all that stuff. And I'm, you know, trying to make positive changes in my life. And one of those things is trying to leave all that behind. And change is hard. When you've been doing things for so long the same way, I got to be honest with you. It's hard. It's hard to correct the ship. You guys are seeing me here. You know, I'm working on the language. You know, I'm working on it. I don't want my channel to be, you know, has swear words. I've got you know, friends that are preachers and things of that nature. I mean, I would never talk like that in front of them. You know, ever. And God love them for supporting me with my potty mouth. I'm sure they pray a lot. I'm sorry, I'm sure. You know, and I love my preachers. I love my pastors. And like, even yesterday I was talking to a lady that her husband, oh, I can't remember, but they're very religious, and they used to go into like the jails and stuff like that. And it's like just nice people. And I look at them and it's like, you know, that's what I want to be like. That's what I want to be like. I want to make sure that I'm kind and sweet and genuine and things like that. And, you know, I have this pop mouth. Just because I have it doesn't mean I have to keep it, right? Doesn't mean I have to keep it. So, but this is whole Athena Brownfield. This is where I'm getting so frustrated with this case. It's like, I love law enforcement, man. They handled that. You don't play with Oklahoma. Thank you, Oklahoma. I love hearing cases like this. They did everything right. This is not Chatham County, right? This is not Savannah, Georgia. This is not no charge Hadley's territory. These are real law enforcement that take their job in taking sick people off the street, and they do it great. This is the low-hanging fruit we all talk about all the time, that we say, hey, if you think they did something and you've got something to charge them with, get them off the streets. If they can hurt or harm a baby or another person, they can do it to anybody else, because at the end of the day, they have nothing to lose. Get them off the street as quickly as possible. Other states get it. Why Chatham County was so insistent having, and then he comes out and says, well, you know, we had enough to charge her without Quentin. We're glad we found Quentin. Are you kidding me? You let this girl party, lay in her bed, eat food, get drunk, make a fool of herself. You let her do that. And she was around other little kids. And didn't charge her. And then come out after the fact and tell us, well, we had charges. We could have charged her. That guy makes me so sick. And then everybody out there, as angry as they are, what do? They vote the same garbage in. I don't think anybody changed, and they had a vote coming up. All this stuff going on. Listen, don't come to me and complain to me that you guys got problems in your county and you got county corruption, when the people of that county, the bosses, the ones that can actually make a difference, I can't do anything. I can expose it, but unless you vote it out, it's going to keep infiltrating your system. And they vote that crap right back in. Well, you know, you make your bed. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You make your bed, you're going to have to lie in it. This is what I don't understand. Like, even all these other states, you guys are like, I went to other counties and stuff, and you guys are taxed out the wazoo. Then your government pays for all these roads and parking garages, and then you fork that money over to pay to build those things, and then they're going to charge you a nickel and dime you to park in your own building that you paid. What? guys get screwed. Like screwed. I don't get it, but hey, if it makes you happy, whatever. Not my fight. Got no dog in the fight. My county, I don't get screwed like that. That's why I go to the county. If I don't like it, I change it. I'll go around, whip up the votes, and get shit changed. I think I'm going to seriously have to have a cuss jar here. I think I'm going to have, because I think I just put about $20 in a cuss jar, and we're only an hour into the thing. No bail for Brian, status hearing February 9th. Yeah, I don't think he's getting, I mean, he was violent. They cannot trust that man. That man is sneaky. But everybody, I was hearing some stuff. There was, a lot of these lawyers are coming out and saying, a lot of people are like, all this DNA, they got the DNA. The DNA at the end of the day is just an extra, it's like the sprinkle on top. You know what I'm saying? It's not the ice cream or the whipped cream or the caramel or the chocolate. It's just a sprinkle on top. That's all the DNA is. And people don't know. They're like, everybody wants to have DNA. Well, now they have DNA for that case, but that is not what's going to put this man behind bars. Brian Kohberger. I'm switching from Athena Brown over to Brian Kohberger just to clarify things. It is everything painting the picture. Like whenever, like that little thing of DNA on that button, again, just one sprinkle of many on top. It's not the dessert. What the dessert is that whole Brett Payne affidavit of putting all the pieces together that you follow going down this road and being able to say, oh crap. Identifying all the statements he had talking about Pennsylvania and their license plate, how Pennsylvania license plate are only required to have one license plate on the back, where Washington State has two. And the reason why they put that there is because in those video cameras of the white Hyundai speeding away, it didn't have a front license plate. So it's just building this case, showing that this is where we went and walking it down. And then you get that final sprinkle on top. Plus, we found the sheathing with one speck of DNA on the button, right? The DNA, honestly, with the way that affidavit was written, so well worded, talking about the places he has been, and you could literally follow it. The way it was written, you could literally follow that entire process. And that's why I came out and said this was a damn good affidavit. In my professional opinion, you don't get any. I mean, that was a good affidavit. And even with the cell phone number, they never identified that cell phone was linked to him at the time. They were talking about the dots of this phone ending in blah, blah, blah. Then they said, then we later identified that phone belonged to Brian. And people are so hung up on that DNA. You remove the DNA, they still have a strong case with not one drop of DNA. The DNA is the sprinkle on top. It really is. So this is why I said, even with Quentin, they had, I guarantee that the probable cause affidavit was, setting it up. I'm sure that they didn't need Quentin because all that circumstantial evidence was there. Believe it or not, circumstantial evidence is what helps in all these cases. It's not the eyewitness testimony is very, very strong and very, very powerful, but it's just showing that there could be nobody else that could have done it. There's nobody. Can you imagine if they say, we have searched everything and there is nobody else that has these correlations with these girls at these times or in this area that did all these things at this time? It is proving that only one person could have been responsible for it. This whole codependent thing, I think, it may not be a red herring. There may be some meat to that bone. I don't know who that they're referring to, but what I can tell you is that it was notable. He was alone in that car when they saw him on video, on those tapes. If you reread that affidavit, they made it a point to let people know he's never had anybody drive his car. He's never had anybody borrow his car. He's always been the only person inside his car every time he was pulled over, the only person, all these things. It seems to me that they identify this as being a lone wolf type of thing. People are saying, oh, well, he had a getaway driver. Well, if you read that affidavit, it doesn't appear to say that. Actually, the affidavit actually implies just the opposite. It actually implies that he's alone. So actually, why don't we pull it up and reread it? Yeah, let's pull that up and reread it. Why not? Affidavit, Brett Payne. There it is. It never hurts to go back and see if we can find some additional information, right? I mean, we were all just, we were all on here and reading this, but there's been some stuff going out. Maybe we forgot something. Hey, Roberts girl, nice to see you. No PCA implies he was picking someone up 700 block in Indian Hills at 3:26. Let's find out. I got it pulled up right here. Oops. There we go. Take this off. Let me get your comment off and let's just look at it. It doesn't hurt to look. Down one more. There we go. I think you guys can all see that. So this is the information. This is the affidavit. Brett Payne, he goes through here. I'm just going to get to the point. I'm kind of perusing through here. I'm going to get to the point. Where is page 3? From 3 to 4. Oh, that's right. The blank page. I forget that. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Blank. But where the page numbers aren't right. Hold on a second. Is this the right one? Give me just a second. There's pages in here missing. Oh, it won't let me do it in that screen for some reason. Okay, so we'll just have to keep it in this screen. That's fine. We can still see it pretty good on here. So it basically goes through all this information. To the bedroom. This is the first part. Based on numerous interviews conducted. Okay. I want to get down to that specific information. This is still in the house. Okay. Okay, here it is. I think. No, it's still on the inside the home. So I think here's where it starts. I think everything starts on page 5. Let me follow the chat so I'm not missing anybody. If they want accurate story, track down first responders. It's his duty to establish ground and maintain peace. Barbara Warren says it only takes one juror with reasonable doubt and Brian is free. Of course, that's in any case though. Every single case is not a slam dunk. I'm just saying that this is a very, very, very strong case based upon this affidavit. If they can prove this affidavit, he's toast. But there is no slam dunk in any case. I mean, heck, a person can be sitting there with a body in front of it, holding the gun and caught on picture and can get off on a technicality. So there's no slam dunk. As part of the investigation, an extensive search, commonly referred to the law as video canvass, was conducted in the area of King Road. This video canvass was to obtain any footage from the early morning hours of November 13th in the area of King Road residents and surrounding neighborhoods in an effort to locate the suspect, with parentheses, suspect vehicle, parentheses, vehicles, traveling to, so they're acknowledging that there could be multiple vehicles and multiple people, potentially. We always put the quotate or the parentheses around an S in legal documents because it's just standard. We do that. So I don't think they're actually implying that there are multiple suspects and multiple vehicles. This is just standard legalese and how we type these types of things up. or leaving the King Road residence. This video canvas resulted in the collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area, both residential and business addresses. I reviewed numerous videos that were collected and have had conversations with the Mascow Police Department officers, Idaho State Police detectives, and FBI agents that are similarly reviewing footage that was obtained. So here it goes into the suspect's vehicle, and they say suspect vehicle 1. A review of camera footage indicated that a white sedan, here and after suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indiana Hill Drive in Mascow at approximately 3:26 a.m. and westbound on Steiner Avenue at Idaho 95 in Mascow at 3:28 in the morning. On this video, it appeared suspect vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate. Again, they're establishing how they identified this car. A review of footage from multiple videos obtained from King Road neighborhood show multiple sightings of suspect vehicle 1 starting at 3:29 a.m. and ending at 4:20 a.m. That's almost an hour. About approximately 50 to 51 minutes he was in the area at the time these people were murdered. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by 1122 King Road residence and then leave via Walenta Drive. Based off my experience as a patrol officer, this is a residential neighborhood with a very limited number of vehicles that travel in the area during the early morning hours. Upon review of the video, there are only a few cars that enter and exit during this time frame. Okay? So very few cars. We know it to be true as well. We were out there, even JLR went out there and did a nighttime drive. Not a lot of people moving around that time of night in vehicles. You'll get 1 or 2 vehicles that are coming in, but not a lot. It's very easy to identify the vehicles that were coming and going because there wasn't a whole lot to track down. So I agree with that statement. And obviously it is a law. I mean, this officer had to put this, made this affidavit under oath, under penalty of perjury. Suspect's vehicle can be seen entering the area the 4th time at approximately 4:04 a.m. It can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, number 52, and then driving back westbound on King Road. When suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appears to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. So he is literally doing like a 3-point turn right in front of their residence. And we know there's several cameras, one across the street, one on that 50 feet from the window. Let me see, who's this? Thank you, Lisa Marie. Hey, gorgeous. Pebbles sent you something on Baby Q's case. She's asking to chat. Love you, Betty. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Pebbles, bear with me, and I will pull that up in just a quick little second. And I've already got your Twitter thing already up because you sent me a lot of great information this morning. Thank you. So we're hearing that this car is almost making a 3-point turn in the middle of the road, literally out front of the house. When suspect vehicle it appears to unsuccessfully park, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it says the vehicle continues to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road. And that we've been there so many times. That's where Olivia and I were parking to walk up to the house. And it can be seen completing yet another like 3-point type turn and then driving eastbound back down Queen Road. I think he realized he probably doesn't want his car in front of their house and he needs to park it further away. Suspect vehicle 1 is next seen departing the area of the King Road residence at 4:20 a.m. at a high rate of speed. So all these other cars that are in and around this area, they drive like driving Miss Daisy. I can tell you that in that community, you drive slow. Even the roads, I think they're only 25 miles an hour. So seeing a car driving off at a high rate of speed is not a very common thing in that area. Vehicle suspect 1 is next observed traveling southbound on Walinta, based on my knowledge of the area and view of camera footage in the neighborhood that does not show, based on my knowledge of the area and review of camera footage in the neighborhood, that does not show suspect vehicle 1 during that time frame. So I believe the suspect vehicle likely exited the neighborhood at Palouse River Drive and Conestoga Drive, Palouse River Drive at the northeast edge of Mascow, and proceeded into Whitman County, Washington. Eventually, the road led to Pullman, Washington. So they're saying that when they were looking at the surveillance in certain areas, they said that his car disappeared, and there's only one way he could have gotten out there, and it was this way, since he wasn't he was absent from these other video footage. So they're saying he couldn't have gone this way and he couldn't have gone that way because they got the footage from those areas. But the only way that they believe he could have gone would have been this way, because they didn't get any footage and they knew the vehicle was in the area. That's the understanding I'm getting. Now, I am speculating. I'm reading between the lines on that information, but that's basically what it is saying. Law enforcement officers provided video footage of suspects via vehicle 1 to forensic examiners with FBI investigation that regularly utilize video footage to identify the year, make, and model known. And we know that they believe that it was 2011 to 2013, but they actually realized that as a result, the investigators have been reviewing information on persons in possession. So even though they were telling the public that they were looking for a car that was 2011 to 2013, they were actually looking for cars anywhere between 2011 and 2016. Investigators were given access to video footage on Washington State University campus in Pullman, Washington. Well, I'm really glad you guys got access to that, because it sounds like Wazoo has access to all your stuff. So, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But this is really bothersome. I mean, I found out stuff I didn't know that these universities do. And quite frankly, it's scary. How are we going to prevent something like this in the future? But I'm not one of those knee-jerk reaction. I think that this would be a once-in-a-lifetime where somebody has utilized criminology to try to commit acts, this types of acts. And investigators were given access to that. A review of the video showed at approximately 2:45 in the morning on November 13, a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra known as suspect vehicle 1, was observed on Wazoo surveillance camera traveling north, southeast down Nevada Street, blah, blah, blah. At approximately 2:53 a.m., a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra, known as suspect vehicle 1, was observed traveling to, I'm not going to go through all these northeast, south. It's just confusing. It's taken away from really the crux of this. So they're identifying this at approximately 5:45, the white sedan, which is consistent with the description. So they're saying that this car, the reason what makes it so identifiable is because it's missing that license plate. It's missing that front license plate on it. They are seeing all this activity with this one car, and the identifying mark is that missing front license plate. And I guarantee there are some cameras that got and showed the back Pennsylvania license plate. I guarantee it. Before he changed the license plate. There's a reason why he went there and changed it. But it goes in here. I'm going to go ahead and skip through some of this, because I want to get down to the part where it says, here it is. On November 25th, 2022, Mascow Police Department asked local area to look for a white Elantra. On November 29th at approximately 12:28, Wazoo police officer queried white Elantras registered at Wazoo, and a result located the 2015 white Elantra with a Pennsylvania license plate. This vehicle was registered to Brian Koberger, residing at Northwest. So this is where they're going to start showing you that nobody else has been in that vehicle. At approximately 12:58 Wazoo, Chris Whitman is looking for the white Elantra and finds it at the 1630 Northeast Valley Road, which is where we were. The officer witness also ran the car and it returned to Kohberger with a Washington tag. I reviewed Kohberger's Washington state driver's license and information and photograph. The license indicate Kohberger is a white male, 6 foot, 180 pounds. Additionally, the photograph of Kohberger shows that he has bushy brown eyes. Kohberger's physical description is the description of a male that DEM saw inside the residence. Further investigation, review Latah County Corporal Duke body cam report shows that on August 21st, Brian Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop that occurred in Mascow, Idaho. At the time, Kohberger, who was the sole occupant, was driving the white 2015 Elantra with the Pennsylvania license plate, which is set to expire November 30th, 2022. During the stop, which was recorded by a law enforcement body cam, Kohberger has his phone number as 8458. Hereinafter, 8458 phone. His cell phone number, investigators conducted an electronic database on queries and learned that the 8458 phone is issued by AT&T. On October 14th, Brian Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop by Wazoo police officer. Upon review of the body camera, Kohberger was the sole occupant and was driving the car. November 18th, according to Wazoo license plate, Kohberger registered the white Elantra with Washington plate number. Prior to this time, the white Elantra was registered in Pennsylvania, which does not require the front license plate. Like, they're building this entire case. So even without that minute speck of evidence, but they are absolutely driving the message through here that he was the sole occupant in that car. I think what they're doing, and the reason why they're using that language, is because they want to make sure people understand that he hasn't used it, that nobody could borrow his car. He's never lent his car out to a friend. He's never let anybody drive his car. He has always been the sole occupant inside that car on any traffic stops, anytime he went to go take care of business with relation to that, going to school. He was the sole occupant of the car. I think that they're driving that home. And I know that there's this co-defendant thing, but I think we're going to find out that there is no co-defendant. There might have been an after the fact or before the fact type of thing, but nobody has been in that car. He does not pick up friends. He does not hang out with friends. He's not that kind of guy. He's not that kind of guy. Thank you. So getting on to Pebbles, I'm going to go ahead and pull this down real quick. We're going to get back here. Let me just pop over here to Pebbles. See what, hold on. Why isn't this? Okay, so Leilani. Let me go over here to you, Pebbles. Oh, wow, we got a lot. Brian Walsh. Oh, gotcha. I got you, Pebbles. Okay, so that explains the whole membership thing. That had nothing to do with this. Yeah, no, my thing is I'm here for the kids. I mean, I have to be here for my audience too, so I don't mind doing a few segments like on topics, unpopular topics. I don't mind having a members only, but at the end of the day, this is about exposure to, for the victims and, only allowing mod, what's the purpose of subscribing to a channel if you can't even communicate with your, with your entertainer? I don't know. I don't buy, the only membership that I supported Adventures with Purpose and I've supported Dolly Vision, but it's neither one of them support me financially. So I killed both of those memberships. I'll get every now and again when I'm chatting, I always get these, free memberships, from people. I feel bad because it's like, I don't need their membership. I wish it would have went to another audience member that would have appreciated it a little more. But I mean, you can't help who the memberships, the donated memberships go to. So yeah, I won't do that to you guys. I'm not locking mine down like that nobody can speak. I just think, he doesn't. I think he does have anxiety too, guys. So you guys have to understand that we can't just beat up on Dolly too much. He's a nice guy. He's a great guy, and he's entitled to his opinion, whether we see it that way or not. I just I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to speak for him. I don't have the ability to. So I mean, how is 16 minutes did he stab 4 people onto? Listen, guys. I know you guys try to logically process stuff on here. You like Maddie, Don. You're trying to logically process. He was in and out of the house. He murdered 4 people in 9 minutes with a knife. It's doable. I promise you, it's doable. Go back and look. Life ends in a split second. It ends in a split second. You're talking about a ridiculously long knife. It doesn't take long. All you need to do is get one plunge and you have disabled the person. But here we have an element of surprise. These people weren't expecting this. They were laying down in bed. They were in their most vulnerable position possible. They're tired. They have alcohol in them. They were easy prey that night. They were easy prey. This idea that one person can't kill 4 people in 9 minutes, they can. Brian did that. Brian did that. He did it. I guarantee they're going to prove a hell of a lot of this case. I guarantee it. You guys are thinking, oh my God, these people fighting. They weren't fighting. I mean, they fought. But when they started fighting, it was already too late, is what I'm trying to say. They didn't know what was happening until it happened. Can you imagine somebody walking into your room and just start plunging knives in you? I mean, that's what it sounds like happened. The girls upstairs, lights were out. The door opens. They see a figure. Before they knew it, they were already getting it. It's this quick. He's full of rage. He's full of adrenaline. He's making mistakes all over the place. Everybody's like, well, he's too smart to make these mistakes. No, he's not. Because when you're in that moment, you are not thinking clear. All of his education he thought he knew went out the window because there were so many things he did not expect. I don't think he expected Kaylee there. I don't think he expected Ethan there. He had a lot of stuff that he did not plan for. He didn't have a plan B or C. He was unprepared. He was totally prepared when he walked into that house and realized how completely unprepared he was when he left. I think he was so nervous as he's walking out the door. I think the only reason why Dylan is alive is because he didn't know she was there or watching. And I looked at the way he would have had to go out, and he was just trying to get out. He probably didn't even know the door was even cracked. His heart was probably pounding so hard in his chest, he didn't even hear the door open. Emma, nice to see you in here. I'm glad you're doing good. Hugs and kisses. And for all the people that are struggling here with health reasons, heart things, if something's heavy on your heart, I just want to give you guys a big shout out. I love you. Whatever you're going through, this too shall pass. We all have life. We all have problems and stuff like that. But we also have a lot of heart. We have a lot of love to pass around. So, and a lot of prayers to uplift people. So I hope we uplift everybody. But what I'm going to do now is we've got this going on. Let's see what this is. This is from Talk. Is this a video? I can manage to go all the way up there. Let's see what this is. It is. Let's get an update on Brian Walsh. So if people aren't getting this, I'll play it in just a second. People aren't getting this. You're looking at this thing and it's old news. No, this just broke yesterday with him being arrested for her murder. He was previously arrested and thrown in jail for lying to law enforcement. Um, and that's what it is. His stories, they found out his stories weren't right. He told him that he was taking care of his mother, and he wasn't. He actually went to Home Depot and picked up cleaning supplies. He lied to the people monitoring, because remember, he was out on bail. Excuse me, out. He had already been convicted of the forgeries for the paintings, and he was awaiting sentencing. And they allowed him to wait at home for the sentencing. And I guarantee what happened is that he is a con artist. He thrives on feeling like he's powerful and has all this money. And he was about to go to jail for a really long time. I bet you Anna said she had just had enough. She can't take it anymore, and she wants a divorce. And he knew she was going to take every asset, every single thing from him. He would have nothing left. And I think that is the cause of this particular thing. We don't know. We'll find out. But I think she told him she wanted a divorce. So this is the probable cause. Although we don't have the probable cause in our hand physically, what we are listening to right here is the probable cause affidavit being read to the judge in these court proceedings. I wish there was a way I could stop it without it going to this page, but I want you guys to notice his face. When she's reading this, you can tell everything she's saying is true, and he's looking at her like, "Oh shit." Excuse my language. I'm working on, "Oh crap." Right? He's thinking, look at his face. I want you guys to look at his face. Yes. He's like, they didn't even know what I was wearing. Like, he's like, "Oh crap." Look at his face. Oh, Sorry, I keep forgetting. So we just walked through all of this and you guys didn't hear a damn thing. So they're going through the probable cause affidavit. It's like a 15-minute video. I'm not going to redo it. I will post this video on my community page, but they're walking through it and his face. Thank you for the mod chat that told me you guys can't hear. I'm starting to get to the point. I may have to change my streaming service. I'll look into it today. But I can't handle the way StreamYard's set up anymore. It's driving me nuts. It's causing so many problems here. I'll play it, but it's causing me so many problems here right now with this whole thing because the volume's not working on my to share my screen. I shouldn't have to remove this screen. I never had to do this before. And all of a sudden they made changes on StreamYard, guys, and I do apologize about that. It's not my fault. It's frustrating. So let me go back here. We'll go back to right about here, right about a minute in.
A call from her Washington, D.C. employer. Somebody would ask that to be released.
Thank you, Ms. Meyer, but I have to satisfy myself with probable cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Lynn B. Land for the Commonwealth. The defendant is now before the court charged with murder of his wife.
Hold on, I just want to answer this real quick. Leilani court docs is what chat wants. Pebbles sent it to you. Looks like they might be dropping some stuff on her. I don't know. All right, let me pull this back real quick and let me see what's over there. So frustrating. Give me just a second, guys. So Leilani's court docs, which one was it? She sent me so much stuff that I can't, I see. It's in Twitter, or where did she send it? Sent over, maybe let me check my emails too real quick. Hold on a second. No, let me go back to the Twitter. Messages. Please read Leilani's court papers. Which ones are they? I'm trying to find them. Oh, is it this? That's Brian Walsh docs. Ivan Adams. Can you resend them to the Twitter? Is this that? That's Koberger. Athena Brownfield. Pebbles, can you send that back over to me? I'm trying to go through here and I'm not seeing, unless they're further up. Hold on, what is this? That's Richard Allen's docket. Leilani Simon. Pebbles, send that back to me. Because I got your thing. Betty, please read Leilani's court papers, but there's no court papers here. Sorry. That's the wrong one. I'm glad, Stevler says, I'm glad Bullhorn can disagree or get in a disagreement and we still are still friends. We are adults. Yeah, nothing is going to, I mean, people, we have disagreements in life. It is what it is. It didn't even last. I mean, we were talking by the end of the day. I explained my position. It's like, and I even said, I'm shocked as probably many people watching you were. I mean, it kind of shocked the system. It really did. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I can just look them up. Leilani. I only have the petition to review files. Oh, they denied it. So here's something that we've got. They may, good Lord, I'm so sick of this freaking system. Tomorrow, we're going to be on a different streaming site. I can't do this anymore. This is driving me absolutely insane. Good way to lose clients. Good way to lose clients, StreamYard. A petition filed. Here's what they have right here. And I don't even have the documents. We need to find the document. Oh, here they are below. Okay, so I've got some documents here. And it says a petition from Leilani Simon's attorney to subpoena certain Department of Family and Children's Service files has been denied. On Tuesday, Simon's attorney requested all DFACS files involving Simon, her son, Quentin, and 2 children, their 2 fathers, and her mother, which is Billy Joe. The motion asked the judge to consider whether those records would influence Simon receiving a fair trial. The Georgia Department of Human Services, acting through DFACS, filed a motion to deny access to those files. We talked about that on here on this very channel. I use StreamYard and love it at Bullhorn. I do too, Voodoo. I do too. I loved it up until, I don't know if it's just because I have a MacBook Pro, but we always had a little thing that says include audio. When I moved to the MacBook Pro, I always had to click that button on my Windows one. But when I moved to MacBook Pro, I never had to hit that button for the audio because there's no button there. It just automatically played the audio when I share my screen. Well, now when I share my screen, it will not play the audio on the shared screen. You've got to pull and you can only have one screen at a time. So you have to pull everything back. Then you've got to go over there and ask it for a video file. And then you can only play that one screen. So I'm constantly having to pull my thing back. I never had to do that before. If something makes me work too much when I'm on a live, I'm done. Like I even wrote them and said, you guys have got to fix this. It still hasn't been done yet. They've lost my business. I have been dealing with this for 2 weeks now. 2 weeks. This all of a sudden started happening. They've lost my business. They have lost my business at this point. So here's the motion. If I can pull it up, it's on Scribd. I'll just read it here because it doesn't look like it's going to give me an option to make it bigger. Oh, yeah, it does. Now let's just read this. Motion denying access for protective order comes now. The Georgia Department of Human Services, acting through the Chatham County Department Children and Family Services, here and after DFACS, and files a motion to deny access and motion for protective order in the above style case, and shows the court the following. 1, the subpoena dupas tecum was issued by the defendant to records custodian DFACS or on or about January 10th, 2023, a copy of which is attached hereto as Exhibit A with redactions of identifying information of minors. The subject of the subpoena requests documents which are confidential and protected. They're asking for confidential and protected documents under their Georgia statute. I don't know which one. It does say here. 49, let's just look it up. 49, let's see what that says. 49-5, 49-5-40B. So, there we go. So they're saying that this is a social services programs for protected children and youth, child abuse and deprivation records. It goes into definition. It's confidentiality of records was restricted access to record. And they said under B, little b, 40B. Each and every record concerning reports of child abuse, child control, or marijuana abuse in the custody of the department or other state and local is declared to be confidential and has access to. So they're basically saying that they're requesting confidential information. And we talked about this on this channel about, I don't understand how they're going to be able to bring this in because juvenile cases are confidential. They're very confidential proceedings. The public can't know about this. It is because they're such young children. They're under the age of 18. So they put these measures in place so people don't get their information, don't get, for whatever reason. It is to protect the children. And so I said, I don't know how they were going to be able to bring this case into the murder trial, because here's the kicker. It's confidential on that side. If they bring it in on this side, there will be no public access to those court proceedings. And I think that was the strategy that the defense was trying to use to stop some of the publicity on this case. You can't do that. You cannot have a public trial, but no public's allowed to attend. It doesn't work that way. That by law, I was talking to you guys about that. I don't see how they could have put that into this case. That's a totally different hearing. It's a totally different court. It's all that stuff. It's handled by that court. They can't turn it over to this court. But the actual specific documents that they are referring to are protected. They're protected. So that's what the state's standing is on this. Now, I'm not sure. Is this an order that was signed by the judge? No, this is just a motion denying access. So what they're doing is this is not an order of the court that I see right now. This is just a motion. The order of the court is going to be to allow or to not deny these records. The state of Georgia is saying, wait a minute, judge, these records are confidential, and because of the confidentiality of these records, we say you need to deny the motion for access. That the defense may argue that this is going to be the hearing that's coming up. So the hearing is coming up on January 25th to hear the state's argument and the defendant's argument. If they can plead that this would by failing to provide these documents in this open court, it will have damaging effects to her defense. It is possible that the judge will order that and will have an order for redacted information to keep all the private information private. But they're still going to have to interject. Now, if it goes to her defense, again, they don't want appeals after she's been charged. And if these documents are denied, and they can say that you never know. But the defendant is entitled to the best defense. And if there's something in that paperwork that can help Leilani's case and they fail to do it, I don't know what the repercussions of that would be. Dino says, hold on a second over here. Dino says, closed door meeting is where things get done. LOL. It's dirty when they flat out lie. I can handle the clever semantics they use. Yeah. And that's just my thing. Is, they're going to have to make sure that if they bring these documents into court, that they have to be heavily redacted to protect the minors and other protected information. But again, as long as it's not a strategy to push the public out as opposed to defending the defendant, then that's okay. We'll see how this goes. But January 25th is when this motion will be heard. So the state's saying we want you to deny it. Defense is saying we want you to approve it. So somewhere in the middle, they will come to either a stipulation or the judge is going to agree or disagree. So that is really it. And it is going to, they are going to scream that this is going to hinder the trial that they have for them. So we'll see how that works. But there you have it. I believe that's what you wanted me to address, Pebbles. If it's something else, please let me know. But it's my understanding that they're going to be going to court over this very specific motion on January 25th. All right, guys. Well, in the true fashion of Bullhorn Buddy, and I haven't done this in a while, I want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity to call in. So if you guys would like to call in, I am ready for you. Hold on, not quite ready for you. Getting close to being ready for you. All right, let me turn on the settings. Make sure you guys are turned on. All right. So we're going to open up the phones lines. I'm curious, what do you think? We covered a lot of cases. We covered we covered some of Summer Wells, even though she wasn't really up on the topic of discussion. So we covered some of Summer Wells. We covered the Idaho 4, Athena Brownfield, and Anna Walsh. There's also another little girl, Madalena Kojakari, which is still missing. Both parents are currently incarcerated at this moment, detained behind bars for failing to report their daughter missing. I don't have good hopes in that case either. This is Betty. Hey, Steffers, how are you? That's okay. It was an unfortunate situation that everybody just kind of had knee-jerk reactions. I said it was just a terrible situation that everybody just had, like knee-jerk reactions. You know what? They're saying that they can't even hear you. Hold on a second. I'm over this. Give me just a second. It's irritating me. You guys have watched me for a year. When did I ever have to jump through this many damn hoops? I mean, come on. This is freaking ridiculous. Right. Let me put that there so I can. Yeah, I'm over this. I really am over this. All right, let me pull you up. It's going to take a second. Oops, sorry. I think I just accidentally doxed your number. Sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. It's not my fault. Can everybody hear now? Okay. All right. Let's see. An air. Yeah, I'm trying to find out. I think I got it on a 60-second delay on here because moderating the chat and stuff. Can we all hear Stuffers? Kayla says it's not Apple, it's StreamYard. Yeah, that's what I thought. They made changes on this thing, and I don't like them, and I'm leaving. You guys can't hear still? They're saying no. I'm literally over this nonsense. No. Give me just a. I gotta figure this. This is driving me nuts. Just bear with me for a second. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna turn this off. Call me back. Call me back in just a few. I'm gonna turn this. Actually, you know what? Let me open panel. Let me open panel. Let me open panel. All right, bye. Frustrating. Frustrating. All right, guys. Mods, copy this link and throw it out. Let me go on the other side and I'll bring it up to the I'll pin it up at the top. Give me a second. There we are. Pin it up to the top, pin message. All right, those that are on YouTube should be seeing that. We are running live on 3 different sites. So I will need the mods to still post the information in the chat. I'll need you to post the information into the chat, periodically, not, but we are now open. If you guys want to come on and chat, Stuffers, if you want to come up, grab a link, and we'll just chat. George, a brand new phone, can't use StreamYard. They suck. It's a shame you pay all the money and it gives you well, it's they made changes. Like the people out here. Obviously, these people aren't using their own stuff, because if I've got to jump through 18 different, I don't want the file. When I share my screen, I want to come here and hit share screen, pick the screen, and whatever I share on that, whether it's audio, text, or anything, it should be playing. It should be playing. We didn't have these problems, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. This is just now happening. And look at all the problems it's causing. This is a live. Like, I have things set up to go through with you guys. I don't have time to be thinking, should I hit this video file or this window? No, I want to share my screen and I want to share it. If I want to share my screen, I should. Let me go to settings and see it, make sure that there's no audio changes in here. Maybe that's what the problem is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So if you guys would like to come up, come on up. Otherwise, I'm done with everything I have. I want to open it up to you guys to come up here and have your piece, whether it's Summer Wells, whether it's that. There we go. Hi, Lisa. If you want to turn your stream, I'm bringing you up now.
But don't show my face.
Hold on. You're gonna have to give me a second. It's gotta be. I have to do this strategically. If you don't want your face shown. There we go. Now you're on.
Ooh.
It forces me to pull the screen up even when I just want it down. I don't.
That's so bizarre. I just wanted to tell you. What did I want to say, Betty? I don't know. Call to make sure that your show was working okay. I look like crap. I do want to talk to you off the show.
Okay.
Keep up the great work, you guys. Let's help Betty out. Throw her some super chats. Do the PayPal thing. Do all the things. And what else?
What do you think about the cases? What case is intriguing to you that we've discussed today? And what are your opinions of it?
So I don't know much about the Summer Wells case. I wasn't around when you guys were working on that. The Athena case really bothers me. Far too many kids are coming up missing. I'm 42 years old with a 7-year-old son that is like nonverbal, not autistic, but nonverbal, and an 8-year-old daughter, right? In Texas. And never in my lifetime did I ever think that we'd have to watch our kids so darn closely, you guys. I'm not going to say much. I'll say this. This summer, we had a little incident with, not a little incident. We had an incident with my daughter, you guys, and it literally, I went out of our pool gate to smoke literally for 4 minutes, Betty. And something happened. Within 4 minutes, right behind my back. It's happening everywhere. We have to fight for our children, period. Like, I think you said it multiple times, like, these kids are so innocent. That Athena gal, is that her name, Athena?
Yeah.
That one truly breaks my heart. I really think that mom or the caretaker mom has something to do with it. I think that's why she kind of told on the husband. The Burger King case, wow. That's crazy.
Absolutely. It's sad. And not only that, but this lady watched him take the lifeless body of Athena out of the home. And when he came back, he said he buried her near the fence line. And you turn around and leave all 4 of your children that you are responsible for with this man that you just watched beat the life out of a child. And I'm so sorry, but that is unacceptable for me.
It doesn't even make sense. It happened Christmas night, right? Is that what happened?
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what's being alleged.
And both of them went and changed, I think from what I saw, they went and both changed their profile pictures and acted like nothing happened. What? Yeah. She went on a date.
She went on a date with her boyfriend. Like, who's thinking of, the S word, with that
a married man.
Yeah, and she's still married, by the way. Like, you called it, Betty. You said everything perfectly. Whether they were having problems or not, you're still married, bitch. Broad, you're still married.
Broad,
leave your 4 kids or 6. But you leave, I want to know the 5-year-old that was found looking for her sister, What starts with an A, right?
Yeah.
Breaks my
That
heart.
poor girl is probably out there. She was out there looking for her little sister that's 4 now that is found dead. Can you imagine what's going on with these poor kids?
She was telling the postal worker, they left me. We don't even know how long she was in that house by herself.
Yes.
No food, maybe water, missing a
Do
sister.
they know how long she was left alone?
Packed those kids up and left a little girl all by herself.
Yes. So that means the mom also left that little girl by herself so she could go slutting around 2 hours down the road.
I love this lady.
Yeah.
Slutting
Hold on.
around.
Bad Badger, I need to see your face if you want to come up on panel.
I mean, she went slutting around. She's all over. They call her a TikTok influencer. Really? I can go be a TikTok influencer. Except for I need to get my teeth fixed. Yeah.
This lady is not. Olivia's got like millions of followers.
Exactly.
How long?
Now, that's an influencer. Kudos to Olivia, but they're calling her a TikTok influencer. She's out there slutting around. You left Athena and your 2 other kids I think the mom left those 2 other babies at the home, took off with that guy. The dad took the 4 kids and split. And now she's telling because she's a part of it, period. They both need to be taken out, period.
Yeah.
How long were those kids left alone?
That's what I want to know. Betty might know way more than me. A couple of days, right?
Also says, don't forget, Michael Monkey Bond's still missing.
Oh.
But he's not missing at the hands of his parents or caregiver.
And how did he go missing again, Betty?
Well, he was out playing. He got out of his house. He snuck out of his house, while Dad was ordering pizza, changing the baby, and this, that, and the other. And he went from neighbor to neighbor looking for some kids. And so apparently he was just out in the yard playing. One of the neighbors watched him walk at least to his mailbox, and then, went back in her house, and somebody came and snatched him, and come to find out it's neighbors down the road. And one of them is in jail right now for failing to report a death to the coroner and law enforcement. The other one's in jail for federal gun charges, but they went and did something to him because they found a void there was a dog hit in their yard for Michael's scent.
Yep.
And there were for Michael's scent, and there was a void in the ground as if he was removed from
like
where
a fresh disturbed dirt.
So they don't know where he's at, but they definitely know he's now gone.
But aren't they guessing, Betty, that didn't they take a trip right after that?
In September, it is my understanding they took a trip, or allegedly took a trip to Texas to pick up a dog.
That's where I'm at, Betty. I'm in Texas. I'm like right outside of Austin, Texas. In a good area, so I thought. But I literally fight in my school boards. I do like all the stuff that you're talking about that you're doing. Kudos to you, Betty. Keep going. Keep going. That's why I want to talk to you offline, because it's so important. It starts in our areas.
Yeah.
There's a pedophile kid that lives 3 houses up the street from us, you guys. He's in jail right now. And Betty, I'll talk to you later about that. But you guys, it happens in your own backyards. Watch your kids closely. Please, trust me. Coming from a mom that grew up in the 80s, never thought this would ever happen.
Yeah, hold on.
They're around. Sorry, go ahead.
Who was trying to speak? Steffers?
Yeah, I was just saying, I agree with the caller, the lady. My neighbor houses like prisoners or like rehabilitated prisoners, rehabilitated sex offenders, just mentally ill prisoners, and he houses them like 2 houses away from me.
Are they Steffers? In your community, are they known? Like, is that house known, or do they have the right to keep it quiet?
They have a right to keep it quiet because I'm in a rural area.
And that's a BS, because that's how we rent our home. We haven't bought our home. Yes, I know it's crazy. I'm 42 with 2 young children.
Hey,
we don't own a home, but I'm glad I don't own this home.
But no, it scares the death out of me.
You didn't know this one.
Because like that, some of those people have like approached other little kids. One person got exposed to, another person's kid was like, "Hey buddy, come over here." And I had set all my kids down, and I was like, "Don't you ever talk or nothing to nobody.
It's
And
so
my-
sad, you guys.
It
Our
is.
world is just so backwards. I just never thought. I mean, all these kids are coming up missing all the time.
I had to tell my 11-year-old not to pick up money off the ground because of that whole fentanyl scare.
Yep, that's going on. Cedar Park, where I live, we are actually fighting for all our, public schools to have Narcan on site.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold on just 1 second. Bad Badger, did you have anything to contribute?
No, nothing to contribute. I just came to appeal my banning from your chats.
Appeal, you're banning from, who is this? Because if you're banned from my chat, there's a reason.
Yes, I believe I know the reason, and I think that it should be reconsidered, and I should re-allowed back in the chats.
Okay,
But why? What did you do?
Hold on. I don't want to get, he doesn't want to say, this
No,
is
I'll
why.
tell you what I did. I'll tell you. I'll spill the beans.
Okay.
I wrote in the chats. Remember when they first caught Kyle Kohlberger?
Yeah. You're talking about Brian Kohlberger.
Oh yeah, Brian. Sorry. And it was the first day when the FBI got him, and you did the live stream, and you said, "Oh well, I wish they hang him by the legs."
Actually, it's toenails. I always use toenails.
Yes, but it was it was something to that matter. I'm not trying to quote you.
Yeah.
And I wrote in the chats, well, I wish this guy would have murdered Blowhorn Betty instead of the other 4 people.
So why would I put you back in my chat?
But why would you write something like that?
Yeah.
Well, why would you wish someone death upon the toenails or whatnot? I'm saying it's fair play.
I'm talking about hanging him by his toenails. You're talking about taking me out.
And
well, I
she's
mean,
good people.
I'm just saying if one is okay, the other should be okay as well.
No, dude, you're wrong. Get out of here. You're
Yeah,
sick.
I'm just saying, we know it's not going to happen. He's caught, obviously.
You don't know, because there's just crazy people out there, and I've been stopped.
And to be fair, he hasn't been convicted of anything yet. And
Right, but if you're listen, she does true crime. Are you an idiot? Not for nothing, but are you an idiot? She does true crime.
He came and spilled the beans. Let's be nice
That's
to him.
true. He did. He did.
He was honest. You gotta give him.
honest.
Gotta give him that. That
Yeah,
takes a lot
he
of
did.
guts, Badger.
But
And
you know
I
what?
really want to be back in the chat.
In the grand scheme of things, we are not the courtroom. So I don't have to afford anybody the presumption of innocence on this channel. That's for the courts. That's not for Bullhorn Betty.
And you know what? It's okay if you disagree with Bullhorn Betty. Me and Betty, I disagreed the other day, and I was super sad. But look, I'm on her panel, and I still love her, and I'm still a member. And she's still
I'm
here.
not saying I disagree with her, and I'm not saying I hate her, but I'm just saying if she can wish someone to get hanged by their toenails and they haven't really been convicted of anything yet, I can wish that same person murder her instead of 4 innocent people.
Well, you see, the difference is that we don't just come with we don't say these things lightly, and we do a lot of major investigative work on our end. And not only that, but this probable cause affidavit is pretty damaging to Brian Kohlberger, and I don't think he's going to survive this. And whether the courts find him guilty or not guilty, that has no consequence to what I discuss here. I'm not.
Well, it'll be a jury trial, right? It won't be the court.
Oh, it'll be a jury trial. Something like this, they would not want just a judge to hear. I actually strategized and actually did a judge-only hearing because there was something that was a legal argument, and sometimes jurors don't understand the law. So I actually opted for one of my trials to be in front of the attorney, or not the attorney, the judge only. No, wasn't demanding a jury trial, and I was very successful in that strategy. So there are different strategies that work.
Well, in conclusion, I don't want to take too much time on your panel. In conclusion,
being honest, this is my
You
suggestion.
should say I'm sorry, Bullhorn, for wishing death on you, though.
This is the thing. I can't unblock you from this side. So you're going to have to send me an email at bullhornbetty@gmail.com with the URL to your link. And if you promise that you won't do that again, I'll unblock you, because what's going to end up happening, you come in here with that kind of crap again, Next time you're just going to be blocked, and then you're going to say, "Poor Betty, can you unblock me?" And I'll be like,
I'll just make a stock account and not say anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, what I say on here is for entertainment value, and it's not damaging to any of my audience personally. Wishing harm on me is a personal attack.
No, I wasn't wishing. What I'm saying is, I think you're misunderstanding me. I think I'm being misunderstood.
You're making
I'm just saying.
point.
Just like, because I know deep down inside you wasn't truly wanting him to be hung by the legs. It was just a figure of speech. You were just like,
I truly mean that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, but it was just like a way of expressing your anger and your disappointment what he has done in life, and your disagreement with him, right? You didn't really mean that, and that's all I'm saying. I didn't really want that to happen. I was just saying, if I'm disappointed in Betty. I'm disappointed that she would say that. That's why I wish she would have just stabbed her instead of these other four people.
Humans. We're just humans. We make mistakes.
Here's it.
Oh, I see where he's coming from.
Betty
You
believes
see what I'm saying? I don't really want it. I'm just saying, if you can do that, why can't I do what I do?
An eye and a tooth for a tooth. So in my world, in my perfect world, how people kill people should be how they are taken out once they're convicted.
I didn't say kill. I said just stab.
No, but I know, but from her perspective, she has been she's been stalked. That's why she's trying to pass laws in her community. So you could see why her mods and all of us would take that to heart. If I seen that in her comment, I'd be like, holy crap. What's, you know?
Oh, yeah, I would have been like, holy crap as well.
I promise you won't do that again. I get it.
Are you really evil, Abe? Are you really evil, Abe?
Wait, what? I didn't hear.
Are you really evil, Abe? That's what you sound like.
I'm clashed with Bow in the chats, but I'll just make a sock account and I won't say anything that would make people gasp.
Yeah, I mean, you can have your opinion. Just don't. This is the rules of the chat. Like we can have opposing viewpoints. Just don't be rude to the people in chat. Don't be rude to the guests on panel, and don't be rude to me. We don't want to. I don't want people parroting my stuff. I like the contrast of opposing viewpoints. It makes for great debate, but we need to debate the issues, not attack the issues.
Well said, Betty.
Well, I mean, I thought if that's going to be the case, I thought I brought up a valid point that hasn't been answered to.
What's that?
That what you said was in the spirit of the law, not really in the letter of the law. And the same with me, it was just in the spirit of the law, not the actual letter of the stabbing you.
Yeah, okay. Well, I understand. I appreciate it. Thank you, Bad Badger. Don't be bad anymore.
All right, you ladies have a good morning.
Be a good Badger.
You too, Badger.
All right, thanks for having me.
Have a good morning.
That was kind of interesting.
That was interesting. Sorry.
Coming up here and
me too.
Him wanting to still, communicate and chat and stuff like that. Not a bad person, just had a bad day, maybe said, making a point. I get it. So what? I make
Sorry, Betty, I came in hot on him because I'm like, what? But yeah, you guys are right.
Yeah.
I would have too, though. If I was like already pumped up, I would have came in hot too. But
okay.
I'm
and then there's one other person in here. So Ruby, it's nice to see you, love. How are you doing?
I love her.
Good morning, Ruby. Steffers, and who else is in the chat?
Lisa.
It's Lisa Marie.
As a
mother,
I didn't realize that was you.
That's me up here, yeah.
Okay, I like you.
Well, hey y'all. Andrew, did you get my email?
Oh, I looked at the emails this morning. I checked some, and I actually was going to show them. Like, you know how much I'm always prepared for everything, but I never know what I'm going to actually show or cover because the chat kind of dictates itself. So I'll be all as prepared as anything, and somebody may throw a bomb in the chat, like, "Oh, we have this new case," and everything I planned for the chat just goes out the window. We'll move over. So, yes, I did go through all of my emails this morning. Let me just pull them up real quick and see what I've got here. But I'm not sure if I got yours or not.
Why are you looking? Sorry, go on. I'm sorry.
I have a video that I did, and it's on a new case that I'm going to be covering here in Arkansas. Yeah, Blue Rowland and his sister Taylor Rowland. The parents, well, not the parent, but the mother is Ashley Rowland, and her boyfriend is Nathan Bridges.
I think I heard a little bit about. I seen it.
Hold on.
The details in this case are horrific.
Right. Yeah, you got some good music on there. I'd pump you up.
Explain to me about that CPS thing, though. are they? So they're just trying to like take the CPS reports out.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is use some of the reporting and the information inside of the DFACS investigation, and they're trying to pull it into her case. Now, now that I'm looking at this and reading the arguments from both sides, what the state would like and what the defense would like, it appears that there is some information that they are going to use to help defend Leilani against these charges, or at minimum, at least if she's convicted, use those as a way to reduce the penalty that she will, realize.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, well, it kind of does to me, because I understand there. I'm starting to see the strategy a little bit, but I don't know we don't know what's contained in those documents. What could
she walked her baby to a dumpster on camera. Like it's as bad as the Idaho guy.
Yeah, it is, but they're entitled to the best defense that they can have.
I know. We're in America, and I believe in all the Constitution and all the rights and all that, and I believe in a fair trial.
And
so
you know what? In the grand scheme of things, that there is something in that may explain why we are here. I'd certainly like to know.
Yeah, I'd like to know too. Like, I still have nightmares over that. Just the simple fact is the mother walked her baby to a dumpster. What was going through your mind?
Right.
Oh,
like old leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys have to remember that Leilani did not like this child. She never connected with this child.
I don't get it.
And I couldn't understand why, but there was a comment that was made by Billy Joe that Cher put out, and it was her response to Bubba Moss, which is Quentin's biological dad.
Right.
And in that response, she's like, and when you were hitting on me, and it's like, wait a minute. I know the mentality of this lady. And when she said that told me there was more going on with Billy Joe and Bubba Moss. I think the reason why Leilani did not attach that child is, I believe in my heart that Bubba and Billy Joe had an affair, and Leilani knew it. And I think that's what woke them up.
Bam. I had a friend that her mother was fooling around with her boyfriend long time ago. That's weird.
Yeah, and think about it. Now, you have a child with this guy, and you have to look at this child and live with your mother every day. And this is the one child that Leilani targeted. That's what we found when we went down there. That's what was so appalling about this case, is everybody knew she targeted this child. She would literally just backhand this kid over nothing.
Oh,
she didn't do that to her other kids like she did. Now, they were all abused and all neglected, but not to the extent that Quentin was.
And he's a baby. He wasn't even 2.
I couldn't imagine. Oh my God.
I have a 3-year-old, so and it looks just like Quentin almost. So it just breaks me.
It's hard. It's hard. It was a very hard case. It was the youngest child that I actually covered. I got very emotional with that case.
Yeah, I think everybody did.
Yeah, but I couldn't imagine being boots on the ground like you are, Betty. Kudos to you, man.
Yeah. It was hard. And I say that all the time, Woo! For me,
you deserve an award.
When I saw Leilani out there in that chair, just basically mocking everybody that was there for her son.
Oh yeah.
If it was 15 years ago, I would have been over that fence, and I would have already drug her out by her hair into that freaking.
I was just gonna say that. Yep.
I
can see that. Me too. I would have beat the heck out of her.
That would I would have absolutely did that over. You did something like that to a child, and I know the information, and you're mocking. Are you kidding me? I would have lost my ever loving stuff. I would have jumped that fence. I would have literally grabbed her by her hand and drugged her.
You know what got me was when they were all outside, and you can clearly see Billy Joe was very upset, crying about Quentin, and she looks at her daughter and grabs Lonnie and says, "Yell Quentin's name, yell justice for Quentin." She had to tell her daughter to yell justice for her son.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Bah. gets me mad.
Sure did.
So mad.
Now, Betty, do you think Billy Jaw or whatever Dolly calls her, that's funny. Do you think she's going to have any more charges, or do you think she's done?
Honestly, her charges never were derived from Quentin. Her arrest was derived by her not following the DFACS court orders and doing stuff that she was not supposed to do while in court. And obviously, you don't play with people. Don't realize you don't push the envelope. You don't play with judges. Judges, they hear this crap all day long. And trust me, when you're dealing with little kids in this type of situation, they've got no patience for you. If you don't fly right, we're going to show you how you better start flying right. The next thing you know, she's off. She's not on YouTube. She's shut down. So whatever that judge did worked.
Well, my opinion is they're going to end up trying to use her as a witness to the case. That's my opinion. And I don't think they're going to charge her.
She does not have one negligent charge in her. She left that child with somebody that she should not have left that child with, knowing. That's negligent.
That's what I want to start making it negligent. So you would think that she would get in some sort of trouble, Billy Joe.
But not if they're going to use her as a witness. If they're going to use her as a witness,
start making examples out of people. And she's a good one to start with.
Yep.
But if they need her as a witness, if she's going to spill the beans.
You know what? A witness is a witness, whether they're
charged. Yeah, I think they could still charge her without her as a witness.
I don't know. I don't know how that goes. That's why I was just saying that.
Well, here, this is kind of how it goes. So let me explain it. So, you may want, depending on the ability, you may want to do like an immunity agreement or something like that. But if you have a witness that did a crime, I'm sorry, you charge that person with the crime and work that out. Billy Joe has never even been charged with a crime, even though she's committed crimes. What's upsetting here is in Chatham County, they are a lawless county. When you allow somebody that you had enough evidence that she killed her son live on the streets for an additional 50 days,
that was crazy.
You are not a good sheriff. You are not a good police law enforcement person. You're not good at what you do. That's why
I'm so embarrassed he's from Michigan.
Attached on the Bullhorn Betty channel because he charged Leilani with the minimal counts. The prosecution had to review the case and charge her with an additional, I think, 19 charges. Because No Charge Hadley doesn't know how to do his damn job.
No Charge Hadley.
I love that.
I do too. And he's from Michigan, man. I went and Googled him to make sure he wasn't like close to me. But he is. He's from like, I think it was Calhoun County, which is not too far. And I was just like, damn, we do have crappy cops here.
And not for nothing, Betty. Kudos to you again. I think that by you guys being down there, you guys rocked that county to the point where whatever his name is, they had you. I think that, and they love so mainstream media loves to say that social media plays no part in all these cases. Bull crap. If it wasn't for you guys being boots on the ground, Leilani may not be where she's at right now. You guys caused such a ruckus.
Here's the issue. What they were trying to do is keep this from, they weren't, like, even the news, they weren't broadcasting the truth.
Nope.
They were broadcasting whatever the police department told them to broadcast. I'm sorry.
Now, why do you think that?
Freedom of speech.
Why do you think they did that?
I have no idea why they did that.
Because that's just how they are.
I think the reason why they did that is because they didn't want to let the community know that they were leaving this mother that has killed her child on the streets. Yep. So they were trying to keep that aspect of it under the rug. I'm sorry.
I think they were informant for the police. That's what I think. And that's why they were trying to keep them.
Billy Joe forced Leilani to do that interview on the local news.
Oh, she did. We pressured them into it. We were so damaging up front. I actually thought they were going to do it the first week we're there. I thought I was going to break them into an interview so I could get some body language on them the first week. It was until the second week that they actually broke their silence, which I was surprised about. But there are strategies we use to elicit certain responses, and that response was a lot. That shows you how tough they are, because I was expecting to break them that first week, and
you guys going down to the DA's office and with those papers and showing. I mean, that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Who else?
That's what I'm saying.
Not for nothing, but any haters watching, who else gets off their ass and does anything that Bullhorn Betty does and Molly Golightly and Dolly and all of them? No, nobody. Nobody.
Nobody.
And that's
You
why
know,
I
you can
say,
complain about these guys all you want.
That Dolly
they're out there.
in our group and everything's going to just say, oh, I don't like you no more. Bye-bye. You know, we're not in here for our petty personality differences and things. We're here for the kids. And at the end of the day, no matter, we could literally hate each other. And we don't, but we could literally hate each other and that would have no consequence to the work that we do.
And I know damn well. Go on.
That's kind of what I said in the chat too, Betty. I was like, you know, putting like, you know, regardless, you know, I can see why Betty's feelings are hurt. Like, this is kind of shocking, but they're not gonna, you know, they were friends. They were down boots on the ground with each other on the Quinton case. Not for nothing. I mean, you guys were together, what, a whole month? That's a friendship.
Yeah.
So it's more than that.
Well,
I seen the point there.
He was one of the largest supporters we had for him and Eve True Crime.
On the
one
vigil.
of the biggest financial supporters of that candlelight vigil for Summer Wells. You know, I mean, Dolly put real money behind that.
Goes back.
You know, so it's like we go back. I mean, we go back quite a while. And we've worked together on a lot of cases. We've covered quite a few cases together personally.
That's how I found him, was through you. But yeah.
And see, I didn't revoke any of my memberships. I don't ever do that. I think that's so wrong. I don't unsubscribe. The only people I unsubscribe to is people who hate. But I'm going to tell you, like, I know Betty and MGL, and all of you, I know. If
anybody's if anybody's being disrespectful in the chat, listen, we're at a point in this game. If people can't follow the rules in the chat, block them. I'm over it. They can come back to me like Bad Badger did and ask me to unblock them. I'm over the BS. You can't handle yourself like an adult. You do not need to be here. There's roach channels for you. Okay, the Bullhorn Betty channel ain't the one for you.
Nope.
So move on.
What I was
Betty already said what she said earlier in the chat. I respect what Betty said too. Betty didn't come out guns a-blazing. She said, hey, I said some of the things maybe I shouldn't have said, whatever. But at the end of the day, Dolly's still my friend. We'll get past it. It's about the kids. People need to go back to the beginning. It was great.
And we're not.
We all need to keep going.
We're humans, you know. But what I was saying is, I know damn well if Dolly was going through something right now and he called you up, Andra. And vice versa.
I got the man out of jail. I was just going to say in Chatham County, so he didn't have to stay in.
But I'm saying even today, right now, if he called you and said, "I need your help and I need you," you'd be there, and vice versa. I believe Dolly would be there for you.
Heck yeah, he would. He
might
would.
be a little slower getting there. You know, he is a turtle.
Right. He is a turtle. As I was getting ready to say, he is a turtle.
I mean, look how passionate Betty was when he was in jail. I mean, there's a friendship there, you guys. There's a true friendship.
And friends fight. Friends disagree.
Fight, and it's healthy. I agree, Stephers. Yep, I agree.
That's what I kept saying. Is like, it's okay if Betty was, because I got a bunch of people go.
I listened to one of those phone calls. I had to shut his channel off because this lady calls up there and she's like, "It's plain as day. This child was kidnapped, and you know, Bullhorn Betty, MGL was saying that you were in the woods, you know, doing Don. It was a joke."
I heard that.
Oh,
he said, "What did he do? What did he do? Did he spread his cheeks up?" And it was funny. It was.
You should have seen his face when he heard that.
I'm like,
his face went,
Those clip channels lie so much too.
In there too. He goes, "Did he just pull his pants down and open it?" I'm like, "Oh, good Lord."
But I just know for a fact that you guys, and that's what I was saying, like, it's okay. It's okay to disagree. And it's okay. Like I was telling somebody in the chat, because people were like, "Did you hear Bullhorn Betty call you out at MGL's?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." And I went back, I was like, it ain't even that bad. But, and that's what I was saying. Like, it's okay that you called me out. I want to be called out. You know, that's what friends. No, you didn't really. That's what they said. You were just like, Steffers, I'm hurt, okay? And you were totally cool. But even if you did call me out, like, I'd rather you call me out than hold it behind you.
Yeah, but I didn't. First of all, I
did it.
Never been nasty to you because I know you're a happy bean. And like even Casey Glass, she was like this, that, and the other. Dolly can say whatever, and I'm like, I agree with you. He can say whatever he wants on his channel, but we can too. We never took that. We never did that crap on his channel. We gave him the respect to say, you know what, we disagree with him. Let's open up our own live.
People were starting to wedge each other. That's what I saw. People, everyone was trying to be like, oh yeah, like they wanted to see Molly Golightly and Bullhorn Betty go against Dolly and Dolly go against you two.
That's like drama. MO of the rape channels. That's the MO of the, when they don't have problems, that's what they do on those channels. Over here, we're a little bit smarter. We're a little more sophisticated. We're a little more like adults instead of like 5-year-old kids that don't get their way. And we all realize that we're not going to parrot each other. And in a perfect world, which is non-existent, maybe we would parrot each other. Maybe we would do this differently. But you know what? As creators, as people, as YouTubers, we bring stuff up and we talk about it. And if we disagree, we have two choices. We go and throw fits in their lives, which I don't agree with. I don't want people coming over here and throwing their garbage on my live. You know what we do? We make our own live and we air our grievances out on our own live. And then we talk behind the scenes.
And what I think is smart too is that I know for a fact. I mean, I don't know Dolly all that well, but he's no idiot. I know for a fact that he probably went back and seen exactly what you guys were and what all you guys said was nothing bad, and what he said was nothing bad. So it's all going to work out. Yeah. Honestly, I kind of think it's good that some of this happened. Maybe it will
I messaged her. I said,
people are talking about Summer Wells when they haven't talked about her in a year.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about that case, to be honest. I feel horrible. I don't really.
Because everything's about to come full circle. We're going to be bringing it up again. It's going to be,
Just hold on. You'll hear it. But it's funny. I told Dolly yesterday, I was like, Dolly, what did you expect from a bunch of women that are mad at you? They're going to hen together and cluck. You just listen.
It was so funny. He writes me and he's like, are you guys done being mean to me yet?
Is that what he said?
Not being mean to you. I said,
He said he was the Kool-Aid man.
You shocked. I'm sure when you started talking, everybody in your chat was like,
I was a
they
little.
were. A lot of people where I watched it. I felt like, holy shit.
Now, I was proud of him for jumping up there and knowing that if he said what he said, that it was going to be this.
And not only that, I think everybody could have. I was just in shock. I was like in disbelief. I just couldn't believe my ears. But there was a much different way we could have handled it. It would have been like, hindsight's 20/20, and it'd be like, why do you feel that way? Well, I feel this way because of this. Okay, well here, review this.
Yeah, the papers that you had, Betty, were epic. I mean, Don's not for nothing. He's got a rap sheet. And my biggest question is, from outside looking in, because I don't know the case and I love all you guys, but they lost 8 kids for what reason, folks? There's a reason.
Right.
But I do have a question.
That we're this, and I still talk to Don. Everybody's like, oh my God. Yeah. I still talk to Don. I talked to Don.
See, you just talked a couple days ago, didn't you? I said, didn't you just talk to him a couple days ago?
Yeah, I speak to him a few times a week, just to check on him, see how he's doing, what's going on. And I am checking on him genuinely. If I really wanted to bomb him, you would have his face all over here. You'd have conversations recorded. You'd have all this nonsense.
Like it's already coming out right now.
But the way I'm looking at it is that we have not had resolution in this case in almost 2 years. We're coming up on almost a 2-year milestone. And, maybe we need to review the case. Maybe we need to go back to the beginning. I would like to hear Don out. I'm thankful Dolly did hear him out. I mean, Dolly did. He went and met with him. I just think that at the moment, Dolly's looking at all this new information and nobody's really talked about the old information for so long. I think he just forgot a lot of the stuff we learned a year ago.
I agree with that, Betty.
I agree. I have a really important question. Okay, so this is what I was telling Dolly when I called the other day. Now I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of on the leaning of the side of I don't think they killed her either. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that there wasn't something else that happened and I'm not excusing all that other neglect stuff either. Mm-hmm. I'm just talking about Summer and talking about her disappearance. But to me, okay, so we've been at this for a year, and we've seen 4 cases from Harmony Montgomery, Athena Brownfield, Michael Monkey Vaughn, and Cody Biggs. Bigsby, I'm sorry.
And Steffers, you're speaking of in Tennessee, correct?
Of Summer?
Yeah, like Monkey Vaughn and Summer, they're both in Tennessee cases.
No, Michael's in Idaho.
Idaho.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay.
No,
Go ahead,
okay.
Steffers.
So this is all these people that were involved with these children, from the parents to the caretakers, they are and the the neighbors, they're all in jail without a body. And so to me, it seems if Don and Candace were completely guilty, they would be in jail. Is that logical to you?
Yes and no, because you guys got to remember, they classic and sincere. Their parents were able to be out 14, 15 months.
Oh, true.
So they had a lot of evidence against them, but there's still, once there's not, like, once you can't arrest somebody right then and there, you have to build the case to take to the grand jury to get that indictment. So unless your file is pretty much complete to go to the grand jury to get that indictment, you can't do anything. So the idea that they're innocent because they haven't been charged yet, we don't know how. They never told us how much evidence they're processing. We don't know if the forensic stuff come back on everything yet. We don't know anything. Hawkins County and TBI have done literally nothing to speak to the public about this case. They just said, oh, well, they took their foot off our neck like we asked, but now we're just going to lock them out. No, I'm sorry. You think you're going to do that to the world? We got a problem here. We want to know where you are in this investigation and why no one is arrested.
Well, now I do agree with that. Like, I don't understand why. I feel that we're still at day one.
Yeah.
But I know we're not.
Well, I mean, I feel that way. Like, yeah. I feel that. I know we're not, but I feel that. But we're not very far past day one, though, right?
I think they got more information than we know. I don't know where that's leading them, though, and I'd like to, because it's not fair. If these parents have been cleared and absolved of this crime, they should let the public know.
I agree. Just like that Brian Kohlberger thing, how they lied to us and he was out. Like, that still freaks me out.
So let me ask this: has Dawn and I know that Dawn was at work when this took place. Has law enforcement ever interviewed them? Did they ever go? I think this might be a dumb question. I'm assuming law enforcement checked them out.
So Don Wells, we know he was at work in the morning. That's what I've been able to. I don't have law enforcement feeding me information, so I've got to go find out the information myself. We knew Don Wells was at work that morning. We cannot prove that he was there until he came home that evening, because here's what I also learned while I was out there, is that Don Wells always took off between 4 and 4:30 every single day. So most days, I mean, he would go home, get tatered up, whatever. He would go back in the middle of the night and start working because he was, on stimulants and other things. But during the day, he left around the same time every single day, and he came home at the same time just about every single day. Now, there are some nuances with that. That's again a perfect world that happens. So there are times that he has stayed at work much later and stuff like that. But those were few and far between from the information we were able to gather.
Okay, well, I get that. I'll have to investigate, look into that law more.
Yeah, I think what I need to do is just refresh everybody. I mean, I got literally terabytes.
There's been so much after that too.
And we had so
Dolly
mentioned,
and I didn't know this, but Dolly mentioned that he, and that's a question I would ask, Dawn and Candace, have you been out there searching for Summer? Are you out there doing the footwork that, all you guys have done? And apparently he showed Dolly some videos that they did search. But you would think Dawn would want that out in the public, being that he's such a public person.
Here's what I see. Here's what I foresee. This is what I think. I think that Dawn is trying to give the appearance that he went out there and searched. But I would like to see the dates. I would like to see the metadata on those search videos. And how many people were with him? Him getting high and walking in the woods in the middle of the night to me is not a search. You know, when I think of a search, I think of you putting a flyer out, asking the community, I'm going to be searching.
Like
I need as many bodies here to help me search as possible. That's a search. You going out by yourself. And again, I don't know if that is the case. I mean, he may have had multiple people with him and recorded them out literally searching. I haven't seen those videos, but I'd like to know when after she disappeared were those searches conducted and what areas that he searched. I'm curious about that.
Yeah. But maybe too, okay, so like this is a different side of things. So this whole year, everybody's gone at Don this way and Candace this way. And so that tactic didn't quite work. So maybe that's why like Dolly and like Crazy Critter Farm Lady, maybe that's why they're trying to be kind. But I don't know. Crazy Critter Farm Lady.
I mean, I'm kind to Don. But
no, I'm not saying you're not kind. I'm saying
set healthy boundaries with him and told him, like, right now, you know how I feel. You know how I feel about you. You know how I feel about this case. I don't trust you.
Right.
You know, I keep my integrity when dealing with these parents, even with Don Wells.
And people forget, Betty, and I don't mean to cut you off, but if I remember watching your videos, not to forget everybody, Don Wells put Betty through the ringer. Meet me here, meet me there, meet me here. And Betty ran behind him like a you know,
chicken.
not like a dog, but in a good way to help. And he gave her the dog and pony show.
Yeah.
So how is Betty supposed to react?
For anybody to come out there to help search for his daughter, but when we show up to actually search,
exactly,
they want to start calling the law enforcement. That's a huge red flag for me.
Yep.
Right. Yeah,
I agree.
I agree.
And maybe
I
now
just think
things
it's
will
so
change.
confusing.
But anyways, Lisa, Steffers, I'm gonna let you go. Ruby,
Oh my
hasn't
gosh,
had a
yeah,
lot of
it's been
time.
3 hours.
Thank you. It was very nice meeting you, Lisa.
Yeah, you too, Steffers. Betty, it was great meeting you, and I want to talk to you off live, but
email
we'll
me
get
over,
together.
Betty, and we'll chat.
Okay.
Have a wonderful day, ladies.
You too, Steffers.
All right, guys.
Bye, Betty. Love ya. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, leave.
All right. So, Ruby, I didn't get a chance to talk to you, and I saw you so patiently waiting. I thought I'd say hi.
Woo! I just don't like trying to talk over anybody. But you know, two things that I really want to point out is that, you know, the interview that Leilani did on the news, I want them to use that against her. And the reason why is because that was so fake and so fakingly trying to fake emotion. And she was literally coming up and with the ideas and repeating what other people had said. When she said, if I'm guilty of this, then by all means, I'll walk myself into that courtroom. That's exactly what her brother said. That's exactly what Billy Joe said, that they would walk her into that courtroom if she was guilty. And then when she said, you know, maybe some poor woman who couldn't have a child came in and took him. Where'd she get that idea? From you. From you and the other women who were standing out in front of her house, heartbroken because y'all can't have children. And she threw hers away like yesterday's leftovers.
Yeah, it was
effing sickening. Sickening.
It was that was a tough case for me, Ruby. You know that.
Oh God. I've never gotten over Jordan Beliveau. Jordan Beliveau is a case that I followed a few years ago from Largo, Florida. And that one, I'm still not over that case. And then you've got all these that have piled in on top of it, you know, with Oakley and Harmony and Summer and, you know the list.
Yeah.
And it kills me. It's heartbreaking. I don't. you look into those sweet little faces and you think, how could these people do what they did? And some of these, the details are so horrific.
Yeah.
And when you watch my video,
the details for Athena Brownfield, I mean, that to me is, it turns my stomach just hearing
wait
those.
till you hear what they did to Blue Rowland, this little boy in Arkansas, and his sister Taylor. Taylor's still alive, but she's in a Memphis hospital from abusive injuries. The details are just absolutely horrific. What they did to Cupcake McKinney is absolutely the most horrific things you've ever heard in your life. But, you know, and with Dawn Wells and Candace, you know, I am all about being fair. And if somebody is innocent of a crime, I am not about trying to punish them or send them to prison or anything like that for a crime they didn't commit. But Dawn and Candace have got too much to answer for. I've got too many questions for them people before I can even think about them possibly not having any involvement in Summer's disappearance.
Yeah.
You know, that's just my take on it. There's too much stuff they are going to have to answer for, you know, just like Brian Koberger. Hey, if he's innocent of these crimes, dude, you've got some serious explaining to do first. You know, that's my take on that. But yeah, Dawn and Candace, you know, they've got some serious explaining to do before I can, you know, think about trying to think that they could or maybe innocent.
Right. I agree. And you know, it's just all these cases, they're just horrific. There's not going to be a whole lot. You know, I just want to be able to make sure that people aren't getting away with things just because they're clever at hiding, you know, evidence and bodies and things like that. And I feel like these parents are being conditioned that as long as they can't find the body, you're absolved of these problems. And if any state has laws where you need the body, you guys need to change those laws, because there's still a lot of circumstantial evidence that can prove cases beyond a reasonable doubt in murders without bodies.
Right. I met someone in Arkansas at the state capitol when we were doing a rally, and I can't remember I think maybe it was his son who had been convicted of a crime without a body. I don't really remember the details because it was many, many years ago. So, but yeah, there's cases here in Arkansas they've prosecuted without bodies. So if there's enough, you know, overwhelming evidence that you can prove someone is deceased and that this person is responsible, now it's a whole lot harder, you know, and even with the body, you know, if you can't prove how that person died and you can't prove that person actually killed that person, such as Casey and Kaylee Anthony, then, you know, so it's a gamble.
Right.
You know, it's always a gamble. My God, look at all the evidence they had against OJ, and he walked.
Yeah, that's why I said, you know, this idea that, you know, and somebody had said something like, I can't remember, it was a comment earlier, and they're like, well, this is when you start, if any prosecutor or defense thinks they have a slam dunk case, they are not a good attorney. You never, ever, ever, you know, you may have a strong case, but you don't ever have a slam dunk case.
Right.
We may use that terminology on here. I think I've used it before myself, but really in the grand scheme of things, whenever you get to that point where you think you got it, trust me, you will find out very quickly you don't. So you always have to have it in the back of your mind that you are not going to win a case. You got to make sure you set those expectations for your client that you may not win the case. Even with the best attorneys and everything else, doesn't mean you're going to win. And sometimes people that think they're about to lose their butt ends up coming out smelling like a rose. I mean, it is our legal system. It is not a perfect system, but it's the system we have.
Yeah, I've seen that comment come back to bite prosecutors in the ASS. Before. They say, what's the on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your case? 11. Yeah, well, that came back to bite him in the rear end. He got a conviction on that case, but years of appeals and activism and all that, it came back around full circle, and those people are walking free now.
Yeah, and Caroline reminds us Caroline reminds us that even John Bonet, they have DNA that they have it processed, and that's a 25-year-old case. That to me is
I followed that case from the time it happened. I've been following John Bonet since it happened. My oldest daughter, was the same age as John Bonet, and my oldest daughter was in pageants too. And it's so eerie. There's one of her pageant pictures, and then one of my daughter Ashley's pageant pictures, and they look identical. The only difference is John Bonet's hair is a lighter blonde than Ashley's is, but they look identical, and it's always just been so weird to me. And I've been through years and years of investigating that case and trying to figure out what happened and everything, and it's like when you can't sleep at night, you're like, okay, it's time to solve the John Bonet Ramsey case.
Well, it's never going to be solved if you've got DNA or something of evidentiary value. Like whenever I was growing, because I'm deaf in my right ear, and there's nerves that haven't grown in. And I remember, my parents were debating back and forth back in the early 80s, whether to have ear surgery or not. And the technology was not as advanced as it is today. But see, the doctor knew that and actually counseled my parents and said, look, we can go in here and do surgery. And once the surgery's done, it can't be undone. So if it fails, that's it. If we wait and there is some kind of new technology that comes out, the doctor even told my parents, hey, we might want to consider waiting before ear. I've never had ear surgery, by the way. And I'm glad I didn't, because what if they had done even more damage that couldn't be done? But technology is changing all the time. So they were sitting on all this evidence for 25 years. Well, there's this new technology called DNA. And then that DNA has been perfected, and they now have amplifiers and things that are just really, really spectacular, that, now's the time to test this stuff.
Yeah. And Colorado doesn't want to do that. And they did several months ago, they denied further DNA testing here in Arkansas to Damian Eccles in the West Memphis 3 case. And it's like, okay. And what this amounts to is, the Arkansas justice system believes that the West Memphis 3 are guilty, and I won't get into all that whole spiel, but they got their men, and that's it. They're done. Same thing with Colorado. They think the parents are guilty, and they are done, and they don't want to be proven wrong. How humiliating,
right? But that's
after 25, 27, 30 years would it be to a police department to find out you had the wrong person all along?
Yeah.
And that's why they want to find any moronic excuse not to do further testing.
Yeah.
And things like that. And they tried to tell Damian that he doesn't qualify for the further DNA testing because he's not in prison anymore. Well, there's nothing in the laws that says he still has to be in prison in order to get further DNA. They're trying to clear their name. He's trying to clear his name because he's still technically convicted and guilty on the books of law here in Arkansas. Same thing with John Ramsey and Patsy Ramsey, who has already passed away.
Yeah, and she wasn't even cleared until after she died. She never even got
I know.
To clear her name while she was alive. She went to her deathbed with half the country believing she did something to her daughter.
I know, and that's horrible. But and on top of that, died from a horrible disease. Battling cancer and everything. And John is still trying to clear their name, and they don't want to run. They're giving him the runaround about doing the new genealogy DNA technology and stuff, and all it amounts to is they're trying to cover their butts because they preached all along, oh, it's the parents, or it's the son, it's the little boy Bert.
That was back before they had all these rules now that you can't, that you got to be very cautious, that people realize the damaging effects law enforcement have, because it's an imperfect system. And not only that, but when you speak too soon, a lot of people, that's why I was so appreciative of Mascow Police Department for clearing a lot of people up front. But the problem even with that is people didn't believe them when they cleared them.
Right. Well, here's my thing. If you can come to me and admit, hey, I was wrong, I made a mistake, and I'm sorry. But for someone to not want to even have the remote possibility that they made a mistake, I got no respect for those people. Yeah. I got no respect for the Boulder Police Department.
Right.
I got no respect for Crittenden County and the West Memphis Police Department. Because they don't even want to acknowledge that they might be wrong and they might have made a mistake.
Well, we know they're wrong. I mean, Lou showed somebody.
Lou Schmidt.
House without anything, going through a grate on the side of their house and getting into their basement and crawling through the window where there was a suitcase and everything else. Nobody saw that until Lou did that. Lou was like, there's some problems here with this case. If it wasn't for Lou, which he's dead now, but if it wasn't for Lou, we would still probably be looking at the parents. As soon as he came out with that video many years ago, even though in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe they knew of that entrance in the house or whatever, but they didn't. This is somebody, but I can guarantee whoever is responsible for this crime is somebody they knew, somebody that was in their home, somebody that they called friend.
Yeah, it's going, like I said, in with the Idaho 4, it's either going to be a complete stranger or the last person in the world they would have ever expected, which means someone very close to them. And that's the thing with John Bonet is, and you have to know that John Ramsey has racked his brain, and they've also, tested DNA and stuff from friends and coworkers and all that, but it is just somebody that they have overlooked.
Yeah.
It's somebody that was close to them, but they've somehow slipped through the cracks.
Yeah. All right, Ruby, I'm gonna have to go. We're already 3.5 hours in, and I've got still a lot of work to do. I still got to prepare tomorrow, and we actually have a 12 o'clock members only. I'm going to kick that back to 1 p.m. If you are a member of this group and you guys would like to come over and talk about the death penalty and Brian Kohberger's case, be back here at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ruby, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. I always love our talks, and for the record, I use that same quotation, about people being hung by their toenails. Yeah, I think these people should be hung by their toenails that commit these horrific crimes.
Yeah.
And even worse things done to them, but I won't stir Badger up. So
absolutely. Well, God bless you. Have a
wonderful
day.
And I'll see you at 1.
All right, honey.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so I wasn't, we don't really go over, or really have lives this long. I liked it. Today was a really good day. We had a lot of great discussion, a lot of great perspective. We were able to cover, a massive amount of cases. But this whole death penalty thing, which kind of goes right into our conversation with Bad Badger, us talking about stuff like that. Well, he almost helped me segue right into the next live that we're going to be doing later today around 1:00. Please come on over. Let's have a discussion. And I'm not going to really be talking so much as I'm going to, I'm going to go in with the intro and stuff like that. But I really want to hear everybody's perspective on this. So if you are pro death penalty, great. If you are anti-death penalty, great. I'd like to, explore those things a little more, peel back the layer of onion, see what makes all my audience tick. So if you guys are a member and would like to join in on that, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, happy to have you guys over, and we'll see you soon. For all of those people out there, I want to say thank you so much for coming in here and enjoying your morning with Bullhorn Betty, chat, and mods. Yeah, what a whirlwind. Great. It's good stuff. Good stuff. So anyways, guys, don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Let me turn this off real quick because we turned the stuff off. And we'll see you later. God bless each and every one of you. And
as you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.